Reese, thanks so much. We are finally ready to kick off this college football playoff quarterfinal round as we welcome you to the Verbo Fiesta Bowl here in Glendale. It's the 3 seed, the Boise State Broncos, taking on the 6 seed, the Nittany Lions of Penn State. And this is just the start of the college football playoff quarterfinals, because we've got 3 more games tomorrow, and it will be capped by the All-State Sugar Bowl. The winner of our game will take on the winner of Georgia Notre Dame in the Capital One Orange Bowl. So a game tonight, a triple header tomorrow to determine who advances to the college football playoff semifinals. And we have 2 compelling stories here in Glendale. Penn State 12-2 this season. Their losses to the 2 teams that will play tomorrow in Pasadena, Ohio State and Oregon. And boy, were the Nittany Lions impressive in round 1 of the CFP, dominating SMU at Beaver Stadium 38-10 in frigid temperatures. More moderate now as they come out to Arizona to take on a Boise State team. 12-1, the Mountain West title holders. Their only loss to #1 Oregon, and they are led by Ashton Jeanty, the Heisman Trophy runner-up, 2,497 yards this season. So excited to watch him in this spotlight as we welcome you to the Ram Trucks Kickoff. Bob Wischusen, proud to be here with Louis Riddick. We'll be joined by Chris Budden and Tom Luginbill in just a moment. This game, this matchup, really sums up what this new 12-team playoff is so special and really is all about.
It absolutely is. It's trying to get the best teams in college football to go ahead and bang heads and decide it on the football field. And with these 2 teams, they are kind of mirror images of one another. They both want to win the same way. They want to win the line of scrimmage. They want to run the football. They want to take play-action pass shots over the top. On defense, they want to stop the run. They want to get after the passer, and they want to win the turnover battle. In this kind of game, something's got to give, because they're not going to change their identity tonight, folks. This game is going to be won between the numbers. It's going to be old-fashioned, run the football type of football game. And we'll see. Let the best team win.
We've got great running backs in this game, but there are other crucially important players as we look at the Ram Truck Spotlight. We begin with the Mackey Award winner, Tyler Warren, best tight end in America.
He can do it all. That's why he is the Mackey Award winner. First and foremost, he controls the middle of the field with his high point catch ability. That's sick right there. He is a matchup problem for every safety and every linebacker in the country. But this is what I love the most, what you're about to see here now. This is uncommon when you're talking about tight ends. You take someone and you drive them 20 yards off the ball and throw them off the field. That's not the kind of thing you see in today's football very often. Tyler Warren makes it a habit. With Abdul Carter, he made the move from linebacker, stack backer. He wanted to play on the line of scrimmage to rush the passer. He's got power that he can convert to speed, as you just saw, but this is his bread and butter. Get off the snap, turn the corner, and close out series, close out games. He is a franchise caliber defensive end, and they're going to need him to be that tonight.
And here comes Tyler Warren and Abdul Carter and the rest of the Nittany Lions. The challenge for Penn State to win this game and advance. They have to shut down the Heisman runner-up. 1,652 yards after first contact this year for Ashton Jeanty. There's only one other running back in FBS in total yards that ran for more yards than Ashton Jeanty ran for after contact. Soak that in. Who does he remind Louis Riddick of? This is a pretty favorable comparison.
It popped into my head, Bob, immediately when I started watching Ashton Jeanty. Emmitt Smith, one of the greatest runners in terms of contact balance that the game of football has ever seen. You see here, he's just surrounded by defenders. Emmitt made a habit of doing this kind of thing, bouncing off of contact, using that great vision, and then being able to break off plus 50, plus 60-yard runs and take it to the house. Ashton Jeanty, he's even faster, folks. This guy is absolutely an absolute freak show. Look at the number of defenders he makes his way through, and then hitting 22 miles per hour plus on the GPS. He will rip your heart out with plus 50-yard runs. He does them on the regular. You better have an answer for him tonight, because Ashton Jeanty, he's here to play.
Bronco fans have invaded Glendale. They are everywhere, and they have poured in to watch their Mountain West Conference champions tonight try and advance to the semifinals of the college football playoff. And Ashton Jeanty helps lead the Broncos on the field. All that's left now, we'll kick it off in a moment. You're watching the Ram Trucks Kickoff.
You're watching a special presentation of ESPN, home of the College Football Playoff National Championship game, presented by AT&T.
Why you come to Penn State right here, man? Leave it on the field. Every play, every snap. Give me all you got for 60 minutes.
As the year comes to a close, the quarterfinals begin. These Broncos stampede over their field of blue to greener pastures.
We got a chip on our shoulder, and we can't wait to put the ball down and play.
Now, they're looking across the line at the Nittany Lions.
We're trying to win it all. We out there ready to hunt.
Touchdown, Penn State! Dominic DeLuca! Intercepted. Penn State second. Pick six in the first half.
A destructive defense won't intimidate Boise State.
Oh, look at Jeanty go! You can't bring it down!
We have all the talent necessary to go run the table.
Touchdown, Penn State!
It's about you guys. Are you serious?
Penn State, Boise State, a toast to the new year and a trip to the semifinal awaits.
Happy New Year, everyone, and we indeed are welcoming you back to the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, Game 1 of the College Football Playoff quarterfinals. Penn State, Boise State, set for kickoff. Down to Chris Budd.
I'm with head coach Spencer Danielson. You were soaking this in. You told me that every game this season has felt like a playoff game because if you lose, you're not in this. Now you're in the playoffs. What do you need to see from your team early to know they're ready for this stage?
Yeah, first off, thank you, Jesus. We serve a champion. We're fired up, but we got to take one play at a time. Our teams earn the right to be here. One day at a time, earn the right. We got to go cut it loose. Just one play at a time. We're going to play 150 snaps. Told them we need your best, and it's going to be enough.
I appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Boise State has had 3 weeks to prepare for this, and Ashton Jeanty said that rest was huge after carrying the ball for 344 times. He says, finally, my body feels like it did at the beginning of the season. But is that rest always good? Offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter said, when you win, you want to keep playing. The rest scares me more than I think it helps us. Over to Penn State now with Tom Luganville.
Coach, many have tried, few have succeeded defending this Boise State rushing attack. How do you attack them defensively and get them out of their comfort zone?
Well, obviously, like everybody, you got to overload the box with numbers. You got to gang tackle, and you got to wrap. You can't throw shoulders against this guy. And then you also have to understand he's going to make some plays. You got to flush it and move on to the next one.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, offensively, Boise State is a handful, but they've always been playing with a loaded deck. They stay ahead of the chains. They're in second and third and short. This Penn State defense has to get them off schedule. And if somebody on that Boise State offense is going to beat Penn State tonight, he can't be wearing a number 2 jersey.
The game plan similar on both sides. Win the line of scrimmage, stop the run game, old school football. I'm looking to my right, and I actually think I see a tear in Louis Riddick's eyes.
Yeah, if I could,
it's back to your days of playing.
Yeah, if I could take my shirt off in this booth, you see goosebumps, because that's what this game is.
Please don't.
It's about playing, making the other team. Yeah, I will. It's about making the other team play left-handed. Make them do what they don't want to do. Whichever team can do that, protect the football, win the time of possession, they're going to come out on top.
Penn State won the toss and deferred, so that means we will see Ashton Jeanty and Boise State taking over at their own 25-yard line first, averaging over 192 yards per game. And it's his big play ability, Lewis. That's amazing.
Yeah, look at this number right here. Look at this. 12 rushes of 50-plus yards. 12 of them. Penn State has allowed 1 this year. And when we talked to Tom Allen, the defensive coordinator, he said that was a reverse against USC. Almost as if to say that doesn't count. We'll see if it counts tonight.
Well, going up against a top 7 rush defense. Madsen, the quarterback, and they start with Genty. And he doesn't get much on first down. A statement opening down for the defensive front for Penn State. Jalen Reed led the charge, and A.J. Harris was there as well.
You can see already, they're going to load the box. They're going to say, hey, Madsen, you're going to have to throw the football. We're going to put you in those second and long and third and long situations, that environment that you don't want to live in, that Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, doesn't want to put you in. We'll see if he has some answers.
Madsen, wide open. Prince strong. First down. So when the run game gets shut down, they turn to Madsen. And the passing game picks them up their first down. And Lewis, he was really calm and composed in the championship game in the Mountain West against UNLV.
And you see right there, why is he calm and composed? Because he knows where to go with the football. He's not going to hold on to the ball. He's going to get out of his hands quick. They'll feature the short to intermediate passing game. They have good size at wide receiver. And if Penn State plays off zone coverage like you just saw there, these wide receivers will catch and run. Great competitors.
Another try for Genty. He gets a push for 3. Ron Thomas made the stop for Penn State.
Again, you see how these linebackers are coming downhill quickly. They want to get Ashton Genty before he gets started. Tony Rojas, Kobe King, Dominic DeLuca. Those are going to be the guys in the back end. Jalen Reed. They want to get him before he gets started. That opens them up to play action pass. We'll see when Dirk Cutter actually dials it up and if Penn State is on top of it.
And you'll see Abdul Carter now comes to the near side. They'll move him around a lot in this game on that defensive line. Madsen, well protected. Up the seam, connects. Matt Lauder, tight end, first down. All the way down to the Penn State 36. A gain of 24.
You're going to see Lauder right here, just release down the seam. You can't give these guys free releases. They will hit the big plays down the field, take shots.
Tempo. Madsen up the middle. And he grinds out about 2 yards as Jalen Reed made the stop. The pocket collapsed quickly as Boise State. They're going to mix tempo, and they tried to catch Penn State there.
We talked to Dirk Cutter about that yesterday. I said, hey, look, they had some issues with tempo in the Big Ten Championship against Oregon as far as getting set, making sure the communication was clear in the back end, and making sure they had their feet in the ground. Could you use some tempo? He just kind of looked and he said, we'll consider everything. And there it is.
Genty on 2nd and 8. Grabbed around the waist by Jalen Reed. 1 yard to make it 3rd down and 7 on this opening drive for Boise State.
Defensive coordinator Tom Allen is making no bones about this. He wants to go ahead and load this box and stop the run. Now they got him in the environment that they want. In 3rd and long type of situation. Now can the pass rush get home? Can the secondary make Madsen hold the football so Abdul Carter can get there?
Plenty of time on the play clock. Madsen, swing pass, Genty. Cuts it upfield. Breaking tackles. Drives his way inside the 30, but at least a couple of yards short of the first down. The first decision to make for either coach. And both of these schools regularly have gone for it on 4th down with success. But it looks like Spencer Danielson wants to take points right now to open up the first quarter.
You can see this Penn State defense just flying to the football. There is strength in numbers. Ashton Genty very rarely going to go down on the first one on the first tackle attempt.
45 yards out. Jonah Dalmas, well left. May have been deflected. So the Broncos come away empty on their opening drive.
You can see just a middle block attempt, just trying to get push up the middle. Pulls the ball left. If you're Penn State defense right now, you're going, that's the way to start, boys. Let's get on the field now and put some points on the board.
Just like last night. Yeah, that's how I get by.
Boise State comes up empty. Missed field goal on their opening possession. Early first quarter. of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. The first chance to look at the Penn State offense. And Nicholas Singleton to the left of Drew Aller in the shotgun. And they start on the ground with a cutback run. Only a yard or two there for Nick Singleton. Let's take a look at smarter decisions brought to you by NerdWallet and Drew Aller. He might not be the biggest big play quarterback, Lewis, but he does make a lot of good decisions.
He sure does. And Bob, it's his field vision that has really improved. You see it there, the 68.5 completion percentage, which is almost top 10 in FBS. This guy can navigate the pocket, keep his eyes down the field, and then you'll see him dump it off to a check down, and you'll go, how did he even see that? It's because he has total command of this offense from a passing game perspective.
Here comes a blitz, and there's the underneath throw. Luke Reynolds, the freshman tight end, swings to the near side. Jeremiah Irby brings him down, gain of 6. So a third down and short forced by Boise State.
You see here in this controlled environment, unlike last week in Happy Valley when it was freezing temperatures, they really couldn't get the passing game going. Drew Aller just looks comfortable. Nice, easy completion out in the flat. Now you got third and short. Now they got the run game at their disposal and the pass game. They got a little bit more options.
Singleton and Kaytron Allen flanking Aller. They run to the near side. Allen breaks it to the sideline and a first down. Ty Benefield made the stop at the 45, but an easy third down pickup for the Nittany Lions.
They had numbers immediately on the perimeter. You had Tyler Warren leading the way out on the edge. Nicholas Singleton getting the lead block as well, getting the hat on a hat, and then you just got the big boy Kaytron Allen just turning the ball upfield for a first down.
Allen and Singleton combined for nearly 2,000 yards during the regular season. They keep it on the ground. Right up the middle goes Singleton. And he's got about 8 more. Lassoed down on Marco Notriani.
And you see that Penn State offensive line starting to impose its will as they start to go hurry up a little bit more tempo. They showed this last week against SMU. It netted them some real good production.
A dive for Singleton for a fresh set of downs.
Just running behind this big offensive line on the right side. Sal Wormley, the right guard, 6'3", 335. Nolan Rucci, 6'8", 317. Getting good movement at the point of attack. Again, this is good on good. This is who Penn State is. Boise prides themselves on being able to stop the run, get you in third and long situations where they can unleash their pass rush. One of the best pass rushes in college football, but you got to earn the right to rush the passer. So far, Penn State controlling the ball on the ground.
Now it's Kaytron Allen. He's down the sideline with a cutback. Dragging tacklers to the doorstep of the red zone. 23 yards for Kaytron Allen.
And just watch the combination blocks on the perimeter. Watch Rucci, watch Tyler Warren getting the chip on the edge and then just working up to the second level. Kaytron Allen just hitting it downhill, all 230 pounds of him. It's just a heck of a 1-2 punch between him and Singleton. Singleton more the speed guy, Allen the power guy. They both are problems. They've got Boise State on their heels now. 1st and 10 in the high red zone, just outside the 20.
6 plays on this opening drive, 5 of them runs. Another run here with Allen. He's got a lane again, breaks a tackle. Close to another Penn State first down. I think he's got it. They say without measurement, first down Penn State.
And this time they just go over to the left side and they say, hey, Drew Shelton, you get your turn. Tyler Warren, I'll be outside. I'm just going to take the support defender and just go.
They go in quick tempo. And throwing it away is Aller. They tried to catch Boise State. They were ready for it. And Aller living to fight another day. So it's 2nd down and 10 from the 11.
I love the wrinkles that both offensive coordinators are showing. Going tempo here early in the game. Trying to keep the defenses on their heels. Trying to keep them guessing. Boise has played good red zone defense all season long. They need to tighten up, make those throwing windows tight, and they need to be able to stop this run game.
Play action. Aller floats one in the back right corner of the end zone. Tyler Warren. Touchdown.
see. That left foot, it's inbounds. It's got control of the ball. That's 6. They had the matchup that they wanted. Here another look at it. That left foot down, clearly inbounds. They had Tyler Warren one-on-one in man coverage against Alex Tubner, the strong safety. No pass rush. That's going to net 6 for Penn State every time.
Is there a matchup with Tyler Warren they don't want?
Well, that's just exactly what you want. You want to get man coverage. You want to protect it up front. Boise State had no pass rush whatsoever. You just see Drew Aller just sitting there waiting for him to uncover as he works the back of the end zone and just lofts one to him. And beautiful pass. Penn State with the early lead.
You're watching the CFP quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
The CFP quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by Verbo, Private Vacation Rentals, Capital One, What's in Your Wallet, and Allstate. You're in good hands.
As we take a look at the college football playoff bracket brought to you by AT&T. This just the start. Penn State, Boise State in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl tonight. Then tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Texas, Arizona State, followed by the Granddaddy. The Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Ohio State, Oregon will cap the night with Notre Dame, Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. And the winner of our game advances, Lewis, to take on the winner of Notre Dame, Georgia.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Georgia, it kind of stands out because, again, you're talking about great defensive play, just tradition-rich colleges. I mean, all those games are just heavyweight battles.
Latrell Caples on the return. Spins out to the 25-yard line. So we'll step aside for just one more moment and come back and see if Ashton Jeanty can respond to an opening touchdown drive engineered by Penn State.
Big ideas have small beginnings. They seek answers in unexpected places, sparking solutions from person to person, expanding their reach, growing stronger with each new perspective, coming together to impact the world.
Ashton Jeanty, 128 yards away now from breaking the all-time single-season rushing record of Barry Sanders from back in 1988, would cap an amazing season. Now, of course, there is some context that is required here. The NCAA does not count the 222 yards that Barry Sanders had in the bowl game that year. They didn't start adding up the bowl yardage until 2002. And here's Jeanty getting thrown down behind the line of scrimmage by denied Dennis Sutton. But what kind of a guy is Barry Sanders, Lewis? He's this kind of a guy. He is still rooting on social media for Ashton Jeanty to break this record.
Yeah, that's what records are. They're meant to be broken. And Barry Sanders, look, he's dialed into this football game. You just wonder, look, it's like a boxing mentality with Boise State. It's body blow, body blow, body blow. You'll stop him, you'll stop him, you'll stop him. You make one mistake, you get out of your gap one time, and this young man is to the house. So far, so good for Penn State. See if they can keep it up.
Johnson to throw. Flag down. He races to the sideline, but it looks like Abdul Carter may have drawn a holding call. That's an incomplete pass, so a decision here for James Franklin. Do you take the down or do you take the penalty?
They're walking him back. Abdul Carter, we talked about him in the open.
Holding, offense number 77. Penalties declined. Third down.
And they're just going to run him on a little TE. You're going to see this, and you're going to see him loop back inside. With the speed that this young man can run with, just look at that. He is gone, and left tackle Ben Dooley has no choice but to try and hook him around the neck. Otherwise, he's about to ruin everything. You see, he's trying to pass off Zane Durant to his buddy Cage Casey, but Abdul Carter's like, I'm already gone. I'm already through this gap. Man, is he quick.
James Franklin took the down to make it 3rd down and 12. Blitz coming. Stepping up in the pocket, Madsen. Looking for an escape hatch and will not find one. Denied. Dennis Sutton eventually gets the sack for Penn State, and it's a 3-and-out for Boise. They'll be punting from deep in their own end.
These TEs again, watch. You're going to get Dennis Sutton coming from the top of your screen this time. They are looping their ends inside, taking 2 steps upfield and then coming inside. And then you see he doesn't give up. He just continues to hunt and continues to hunt, chase down the quarterback. They were playing a 2-deep shell in the back end, matched the patterns perfectly. Maddox Madsen had nowhere to go with the ball.
And now a false start will be called on the punt group.
Before the snap, false start. Offense number 23. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So the Broncos going in the wrong direction, and we'll see what kind of field position Penn State will get after a 9-play touchdown drive. Their offense put together, Lewis, where they control the line of scrimmage offensively just as much as they are controlling it so far defensively.
They sure are, and that's where this game is going to be won. We knew it was going to be won here. So far, Penn State imposing their will, doing it their way.
End-over-end kick from Ferguson Reynolds. Fielded near midfield. Zion Tracy at the Penn State 45 with a fair catch. 42-yard punt. Denied Dennis Sutton. And the defensive line doing work so far for Penn State.
New crib psychotic. I'm so iconic.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear. More driven. Bob Wischusen alongside Lewis Riddick. Chris Budden, Tom Luganville with us as well. Here in Glendale. It's been all Penn State so far in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, and they've got great field position at their own 44-yard line. Aller steps up, breaks a tackle, lowers his shoulders, and decides to lower the boom. Triani picks up 3.
Drew Aller is 240 pounds. This is a guy who just started playing quarterback. Said he'd always played other positions because of his size.
They waste no time giving it to Kaytron Allen. He's got another Penn State first down.
Boise State late to get lined up. Penn State already had them outnumbered at the point of attack instantly, and they're knocking Boise State off the ball. Tyler Warren already just doing work on the perimeter. These wide zone runs. Defensive coordinator Eric Shenander better have an answer for this. He better have an answer for this run game. Otherwise, this rushing total is going to go up. We're already almost at 100 yards. At 70 right now. Kaytron Allen averaging 12.8 per carry already.
Another handoff. Hurdling to that second level is Kaytron Allen. He's got 6 yards on first down. What would be your answer? Is it different personnel? Are you just deploying your troops differently if you're Boise State?
No, they have already got 8-man boxes already. They're just right now just getting beat at the point of attack.
4-man rush. Aller. He's going to take a shot. Amari Evans, right down the chimney. Touchdown.
Amari Evans, one of the fastest guys on the team. They just ran him right down the middle of the field on a post. Had him one-on-one on the do-it-all safety, Ty Benefield. Benefield this late to get out of his pedal, didn't get on his horse fast enough, just misjudged the type of speed that this young man has. And Amari Evans, he's their big play threat, their home run threat. Beautiful throw from Drew Allen.
Well, James Franklin told us yesterday, Amari Evans, he has a superpower, and that is it. He can run by everybody, and we have to throw one over the top of their defense. They just did.
You're going to see him right here against the safety Ty Benefield, and he's just going to run. Now, I want you to take a look at Benefield and look how he's kind of skating in his pedal. He's 10 yards off the ball, but you got to get out of there. He is not going to break that route off. You're sitting in outside leverage. You don't have any help to the post. You got to know who your opponent is. Amari Evans will flat out run by you. You better get turned right now and get running, because Drew Aller's just going to lay it up with the perfect touch pass. You can't throw it any better than that. you might as well just walk up and hand it to him. He threw it so well. Drew Aller's development from last year in the Peach Bowl, saw him down there in Atlanta, to now has been absolutely amazing. And just look at him. He's not only better from a physical perspective, you can see it now. He believes he's better. He believes he can make any throw. He believes he has control of this offense. Boy, Penn State has come out hot.
Drew Aller now 51 touchdowns against 9 interceptions this season. Since 2022, he and Jaden Daniels are the only 2 to put up those kind of numbers in a single season. We've now got a quick message from Verbo.
Defenses so far have been stingy, and that really showed in the...
Done?
Look, if you want a house without a host, you should have booked a Verbo. Like I was saying, both teams have really good defenses, and it really showed in the second half.
Well, this feels like a must-drive now for Boise State to try and take some type of a hold back of this game down 14-0. And we're still in the first quarter. They start with a little button hook to Austin Bolt. Let's head down to Chris Budden.
Bob, this Boise State coaching staff has been so complimentary of Maddox Madsen's composure amongst the chaos this season, but he was visibly frustrated on the sidelines, shaking his head. Ashton Jeanty had to come over, pat him on the back. After talking with his coaching staff, regained the composure, went up to every offensive lineman, said, we're getting back in this on this drive.
Low snap. Jeanty finds a crease. There's the first impact play for Ashton Jeanty. 12 yards and a first down.
You see Ashton Jeanty, they came with a little blitz off the edge. Safety Jalen Reed. Jeanty just finds a crease in that B gap, and he's off to the races. Like I said, you make one mistake as far as your run fits, this guy will make you pay. He can flip this game in a hurry. Penn State has done a great job so far of winning the point of attack. Game is far from over. Ashton Jeanty will make sure of that.
Tyler Crow joins him in the backfield on first down. Jeanty again. Tries to get to the outside. The contact balance. That's what we heard over and over again. Did he lose the football? Did Jeanty lose the football on the sideline? He did. Penn State just took it away. Zakee Wheatley ended up with the football. And before going out of bounds or going down, Jeanty coughed it up.
They fumbled, covered by the defense before going out of bounds. First down, Penn State.
A killer giveaway for Boise State.
You're going to see right at the end of this play, Kobe King gets his hands on the ball. And that's just great awareness on the part of Zakee Wheatley to keep his feet in bounds to secure possession of the ball. Look at the left arm of Kobe King come in and punch at that ball. Zakee Wheatley looking like a wide receiver, getting both feet in bounds as if he's playing in the NFL. Just an excellent, excellent play by the linebacker Kobe King. And a critical mistake as far as ball security is concerned by Ashton Jeanty.
So with a 2-touchdown lead, Penn State goes to work from midfield again.
Boise State's defense they have to bow up now. They have to get a stop. Penn State's been doing whatever they want. They have to give their offense some more cracks at it out here on the field. They've got to get a stop here. This is critical for them.
Play action for Aller. Over the middle. First down catch is made. Harris and Trey Wallace in front of Devon Banks.
Big play. Andy Colton-Necky, the offensive coordinator, says, get up on the line. Don't let him even think. Don't even let him talk about it. We're going to come right back at him again.
Losing the football is Aller. At the mesh point, he coughed it up, and Shea Oladipo takes it back for Boise State.
Bob, that's what they needed. They needed to come up with something to give their offense more possessions and a chance to get in rhythm. You see Drew Aller just trying to pull the ball. It looks like maybe Singleton thought he was going to hand it to him. You can see him here just reading end man on the line of scrimmage. Looks like he wants to pull it. Singleton doesn't let it go. And those are the kind of ball handling mistakes that can be advantageous to a defense and to a team right now that needs a spark. They need more chances. They need number 2 to break one.
Huge break for Boise State. Will they take advantage? Madsen outside. Matt Wagner turns it upfield. He's normally more thought of as a blocking tight end. That's only his 9th catch of the season, but it's good for 14 yards and a first down.
That's a nice route. Just a little Y stick from a flex position. A quick out, go about 5 yards and just break it out. Maddox Madsen puts it right on him. He's able to run away from the linebacker, Dominic DeLuca. Nice execution.
Well, the entire Penn State defense in a phone booth right near the line of scrimmage, and they toss it to Genty. He's got nowhere to go. Jalen Kimber holds the edge, but there was no crack of daylight with that defensive front for Penn State crowding the line.
I mean, Kimber was shot out of a cannon on the short side of that formation with the wide receiver taking a cut split, meaning he's close to the tackle. As soon as he saw that pitch, he was flying downhill, and so was Dominic DeLuca. Play action pass, move the quarterback, move the pocket. These secondary players are biting hard on anything that looks like run action. They have to take a shot over the top.
2nd and 12, they'll run it with Genty. He gets a yard. And now Dennis Sutton, supported by Jalen Kimber again. 3rd down and 11 coming up for Boise State.
They just are winning at the point of attack here against the run. As you can see, 28 Zane Durant denied Dennis Sutton. And he's a mountain of a man, 6'5", 272. When you see him down the field in person, he's the prototype. He's the prototype 4-3 defensive end. And now they're just shuttling in that defensive line depth. Amin Vanover, 15 in the game. Smith Gilbert, 92 in the game. Just keeping them fresh here in this 3rd down.
And Boise State's going to let the first quarter clock expire and take a deep breath before 3rd down and 11 to begin the 2nd quarter. All Penn State in the 1st quarter. A touchdown pass to Tyler Warren. A deep shot from Drew Aller to Amari Evans. And it's a 2-score Penn State lead.
Coach pretty much is scripted in the 1st quarter, but you got to recover from that turnover. What are you going to see here on 3rd and long?
Yeah, just can't turn the ball over. We put such an emphasis on that. Had a great opportunity to go up by 21. Name of the game since the beginning of time has been turnover ratio. So our defense has got to respond here, help our offense out, and then we'll get back going.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Penn State's defense forces 3rd down and 11. And Maddox Madsen out of the pocket, extending the play, hoping for some help. Fires one down the sideline into double coverage, and it's broken up and incomplete. It's drawn the intended receiver, but Cam Miller, one of those nickel corners, underneath in coverage in perfect position. So now it's a midfield punt coming.
This Penn State pass rush. Amin Vanover, typically a defensive end, they move him inside. He hits a quick spin move and flushes Maddox Madsen outside the pocket. Vanover goes 6'4", 258, 260. Him and Abdul Carter playing on a different level right now and just making life miserable in these obvious passing situations.
And over end punt, Zion Tracy, fair catch at the 10-yard line. So that is a change of field position that's certainly going to help out Boise State. And fans, don't forget, you can check out the Verbo Skycast over on ESPNU or the ESPN app for a no-host viewing experience. Some of my really supportive Twitter followers might enjoy that feed.
Again, Boise has to come up with some plays. They have to stop giving up the big plays. They were 118th in the country in passes of +20 allowed this season. They have got to get this fixed and get a lid on it somehow.
Aller, quarterback run for a yard. Max Stiege grew up in Germany and ended up playing high school level football for a club team, the Cologne Cardinals, or Cologne Crocodiles, pardon me, and eventually Boise State had a camp, saw him, were impressed, brought him over, and now he's a go-to defensive end.
Now they got him in 2nd and long. Can they take advantage of this type of situation? The passing situation, can they get some heat on Drew Aller?
Play action. They set the screen up. Breaking a tackle is Tyler Warren with a stiff arm. Close to a first down. Steege eventually brought him down about a yard short. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Tyler Warren just runs through the tackle of safety Shea Oladipo like he's not even there. I mean, that's be a play that's dead in the water, and he just makes it on his own because of how good he is after the catch. It makes it a 3rd and manageable situation.
And they actually said Warren was down at the 17-yard line, so 3rd down and 3. Warren motions under center. He'll pitch it back to Aller. They want the throwback screen. No one home. They run a trick play, and Warren got caught up in the wash, and Aller couldn't find him.
Boise sniffed this out right away. Just watch. You're going to see Tyler Warren just try and sneak out here after he pitches the ball. But they're all over it. Linebacker Andrew Simpson was calling it out pre-snap, and they were prepared. That's smart football on the part of Boise in a key 3rd down situation. They should set themselves up here with good field position.
Good punt. All the way down to the 30-yard line to Cooper Jones. Made the first man miss. Breaks a tackle. Cooper Jones still on his feet. Spinning close to midfield before he's finally brought down. 53-yard punt from Riley Thompson, but an 18-yard return gives Boise State good field position.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. It's finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. Because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
Want the latest on today's games? Just tell Siri, show me the college football scores.
Nothing in the run game so far for Ashton Jeanty and Boise State. They've got the ball, though, at midfield. So, Lewis, philosophical change potentially for Boise? Are they going to start throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down?
Yeah, I think they'll change it up some. I think Dirk Cutter knows he can't fall into some tendencies that defensive coordinator Tom Allen can just lock in on. You know they're going to try and get this team behind the sticks, right? They want them to play in 2nd and 3rd long. Maybe take some chances here down the field. Here, they put him in the gun. This isn't a good play-action alignment, but nevertheless, they could be thrown.
Jeanty. That's a good run on 1st down. Kobe King brings him down after a gain of 6.
You can see defensive coordinator Tom Allen just continuing to fire extra rushers at the line of scrimmage. Again, that time, Jalen Reed, who we've seen, the strong safety #1, just coming off the wide side of the field, off the slot, trying to put pressure on this offense again and again and again.
A rollout for Madsen. There's Jeanty with speed to the sideline. Inside the 30-yard line of Penn State before he's bumped out. Kobe King eventually made the stop. Zion Tracy there as well, but not before Jeanty gains 17.
There you see the difference, right? When you put him under center and let him roll out and change the launch point, you see how the defense slows down all of a sudden? Because now they're looking for the run. They're not really getting back in their pass drops and pattern matching the way they typically would, because they're not sure what's going on. That's the benefit of putting your quarterback under center and running some play action of different types.
Jeanty, right up the middle. And he's down to the 22. 6 more yards behind a push from Matt Lauder.
Just running a double team at the point of attack, pulling the backside guard, number 62, Roger Carrion. One of their most physical blockers up front. Ashton Jeanty downhill.
First play of this drive, they spread Penn State out with 3 receivers on the field and gave it to Jeanty out of the shotgun set. They'll do it again here. He tries to bounce it outside. Lost the football again. It's on the deck, and it's gotten back by Boise State. Roger Carrion starting guard pounced on it to keep the drive alive.
It looked like Ashton just dropped the ball. I couldn't tell if someone actually hit it. Yeah, it just comes out of his arms as you see the defensive end, Vanover, coming in pursuit, trying to punch at that ball. Oh, he does get his hand on it. That left hand gets it. You couldn't see it from the angle we saw previously. Vanover's been all over the field. This defensive line has been flying. Ashton's got to be more secure with this ball.
And Genty not out there for 3rd down and 1. Instead, they'll hand it straight ahead on a dive for a first down to Chambreeze Dubar. And Dubar's got the first down. So after fumbles twice here in the opening half, they give Genty a moment over on the sideline as we go down to Tom Luganville.
Yeah, guys, Abdul Carter 2 plays ago went off the field holding his left arm. Hasn't come back on. They've made a couple of substitutions the last 2 plays. Something to key in the front 7 for Penn State.
And no doubt, one of the best, if not the best, defensive linemen in the country.
They've been moving them all over the place in this game. You see them on the defensive line. You see them off the ball in a stack position.
A toss to Dubar. Does well to catch it, but goes down immediately. Oh, the speed of Vanover as he immediately dragged down Dubar for a loss of 4.
We've seen Vanover make plays a couple different times in this ball game already. Just look at the athleticism here. Just saw playing this and just skating along the line of scrimmage, able to play 2 offensive players at once. You see right there, you see that reach and that change of direction. Vanover, just a heck of an athlete at 6'4", 260 plus.
Now they go empty. 2nd down and 14. Penn State blitzes. A little turnaround route, making a gain inside the 10 as Matt Lauder down to about the 7, close to a first down.
Just finding the soft spot in the zone. Penn State just playing a little zone coverage. Lauder just kind of checks up over the middle and then gets the ball north and south quickly. All these wide receivers, they're not going to wow you with their physical ability, but they're run after the catch, Bob. Great competitors, all of them gritty. All of them have a story of overcoming some kind of adversity. Now they're knocking on the door. Key 3rd down right here.
And Genty back in. Instead, it's a handoff right up the gut. Tyler Crow gets a push. Touchdown. A Boise State answer.
Look at the push at the point of attack on the inside. Center Mason Randolph, Roger Carey in the right guard, Ben Dooley the left guard. And they just give it to Tyler Crow, 233 pounds, the former linebacker who switched to fullback, former walk-on.
Some belief over on that Boise State sideline. An 8-play touchdown drive.
If they said that they would put their offensive line and their lines of scrimmage up against anyone, you see them, they just get a triple team at the point of attack. Tyler Crow using all 233 pounds with some help from his buddies.
The CFP quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Taco Bell. And Gatorade. It fuels the best because it is the best.
Who could forget the 1987 Fiesta Bowl? Penn State wins the national championship. 5 interceptions of Vinny Testaverde. And they beat Miami 14-10. Now they're in a tussle with Boise State in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. The winner advances to the Capital One Orange Bowl Thursday, January 9th against either Notre Dame or Georgia. And we'll kick off the day tomorrow. 3 games, a triple header in the college football playoff quarterfinal round. Aaron Scheib will kick it off and keep our eyes on Abdul Carter. You can see on the bike over on the Penn State sideline. Through the back of the end zone for a touchback as we now have our Chick-fil-A moves on the field.
Boise State averted disaster. Ashton Genty getting the ball knocked out by Vanover. They're on the spot to go ahead and make sure they jumped on the ball, and then just some quick passing. Getting the ball just right up the middle of the field. running the ball with authority. Tyler Crow finishes it off, trying to fire up his guys on the sideline. They were in danger of going down 3 scores in this ball game. Now they've cut it to 7. Game on.
Penn State back to their bread and butter. That's Katron Allen. 3 yards as he took Sheldon Newton, 320 pounds of him, for a bit of a piggyback ride.
Interior defenders for Boise: Sheldon Newton, Herbert Gums 98, Braxton Feely 90. They have to start making some plays.
They make one here. No daylight for Allen. Michael Callahan came through first, a loss of 2. So now, after the Boise State touchdown, their defense comes out, forces 3rd down and 9.
What's the way to disrupt the wide zone? You got to get penetration. You've got to get into the backfield. Michael Callahan does it there. Now a key 3rd down. Now can the secondary play some tight man coverage? I think you got Newton down on the field.
You do. So an injury timeout as Sheldon Newton is shaken up. 14-7 Penn State, but 3rd down and long when we come back as we approach the midway point of the 2nd quarter. You're watching the College Football Playoff quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Pablo Shoes and Lewis Riddick, Chris Button, Tom Luganville here in Glendale. And Lewis, Boise State has forced 3rd down and long after the injury timeout.
You better know where number 44 is. He's number 3 in the trick formation at the top of the screen. Got to take care of him first. 92 catches on the season.
Khalil Dinkins in motion. Allen steps up in the pocket. Floats one up the seam, hoping for Tyler Warren. Flag out. Holding will be called in the secondary against Boise State.
Holding. Defense. Number 0. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
You're going to see Tyler Warren. He's going to be one-on-one against the safety, Ty Benefield. And you're going to see Benefield. He's got to play him with inside leverage, and then he starts getting out leverage, loses his footing, and kind of grabs a hold of Warren because he knew that he was beat. Ty Benefield is someone that they really love at Boise. He's having a little bit of a rough go so far early in this game. He's got to make some plays.
Now flags down. This will back Penn State up 5, it appears.
Before the snap, false start offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So midway through the 2nd quarter, Penn State's lead now 7. And it's 1st and 15. It's Singleton back in the game. He and Allen both in the backfield. Now Singleton will split out to the near side as a receiver and go in motion. Instead, it's Allen bouncing it to the sideline. Tripped up, stumbles. Oh, boy. Alexander Tubner, an ankle tackle. Limited that carry to 5 yards.
Tubner got lucky. You see here, he's just trying to play off the clock. Just trying to get free from Ioane, and he's just able to trip up Katron Allen by the shoelaces. Otherwise, he was out the gate. They had stuffed that play at the point of attack. Allen just bounced it, tried to get out on the perimeter.
Both backs again in the backfield to either side of Allen. False start again.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Nolan Rucci, the right tackle. This Boise crowd that has made the trek here to Phoenix, they're making their presence felt. Penn State's got to get it calmed down here and stop shooting themselves in the foot. Boise's defense is starting to ramp it up.
Blitz coming. Aller under pressure. Sacked. Ahmed Hassani throws him down back at the 20-yard line.
You see the different rush packages. You're going to get this. You're going to get this on the outside. And Hassanin, you're going to see him just take one step, jab step, and then come right down the pike. You see they just turn him loose in the A-gap. That is the wrong guy. 8.5 sacks this year, 12 tackles for a loss, 12.5 tackles for a loss. One of the captains on this football team. Now you got 3rd and forever.
3rd and 27. Aller floats one to a crosser. Trey Wallace brought down in the open field by Amarion McCoy. And Penn State will have to kick it back to Boise State.
That is a heck of an open field tackle, a heck of a series for Boise, for the Boise State defense. Penn State didn't help themselves with the penalties, but you can tell that this Boise State defense playing with a lot more confidence now.
Thompson, a line drive, hook to the near side, and takes a sideways bounce out of bounds near the Boise State 40-yard line. Looked like Louis Riddick off the 15.
It sure did. Ashton Jeanty, this is just not typically the kind of thing you have seen as far as his ball security has been concerned, the way he has put the ball on the ground. But he has had a rough go of it. Penn State has not given him any room to breathe. On more than one occasion, stacking the box, 7-8 defenders, guys coming downhill quickly. Here, Vanover again, Amin Vanover, the defensive end, swatting at the ball, getting it out off of him twice so far in this game.
Slant, incomplete, underthrown for Maddox Madsen.
And there's what we talked about in the break, Bob. Throwing the ball on 1st down. Maddox Madsen getting the ball tipped by Devon Thomas. We saw that on tape a few times. Maddox Madsen only about 5'10". He's got to time up his throws, find those throwing windows precisely. Penn State has a lot of length on the edge of their defense. Dennis Sutton at 6'6", Vanover at 6'4", Carter at 6'3".
Jeanty, up the middle, 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Isaiah Izzard drove back Ashton Jeanty, who has as many fumbles in the first half tonight as he had the whole season coming into tonight.
I mean, that's just an amazing statistic. But obviously, the level of competition has ramped up, and Penn State is not having it. They have said, look, you're going to earn everything that you get. And if you want to hold on to the football, you better make sure you secure it. Here now it's 3rd down. We haven't heard so far tonight from Latrell Caples, number 3, in the slot at the top of your screen.
Penn State shows blitz. That's Caples and Cameron Camper out there wide. One-on-one down the sideline. Incomplete. Through the hands of Austin Bolt, Jalen Kimber. Pretty good coverage, and a 3-and-out for Boise State.
Trying to work Austin Bolt up the seam one-on-one. You see, he's just trying to stab the corner inside Jalen Kimber. He's not going to outrun him down the boundary. Madsen tries to put it up and give him a chance to win a 50-50 ball. Now, I had mentioned Latrell Caples. He ran a slant on the inside. He was wide open. Madsen didn't look his way.
Line drive kick and an immediate fair catch called at the 21-yard line by Zion Tracy. A 38-yard punt. And aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Road tested and game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. What's been the biggest factor or the most impressive thing in the comeback, at least so far, for Boise State, Louis, to you?
Well, their defense is kind of settled in now. It seems as though they're playing with better fundamentals at the point of attack, trying to secure these edges.
Spin move. Allen. Brad crawls out to the 30-yard line, about 1.5 yards shy of a 1st down.
You see Katron Allen with the spin, stepping out of that tackle attempt at the line of scrimmage. And this man is 230 pounds.
And Hassanin injured after making the tackle. trying to walk it off. And Taco Bell is bringing the Live Mas student section and its students to the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Tonight they're picking up the tab for students from each school so that these passionate fans could come cheer on their teams here in Glendale.
It's just a great scene here. A lot of orange throughout this stadium right now. Trying to get this Boise State team here fired up for this football game. Penn State has come out early in this game, run the football with authority. Now having a little bit tougher of a go of.
Kaytron Allen up the middle. Flag down. Runs a man over at midfield. Breaking tackles. Kaytron Allen all the way down, close to the 20-yard line. Is it coming back? He dump trucked Zion Washington in the middle of that run.
Did he ever?
Holding. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
And the entire run for Kaytron Allen gets erased.
They're going to get the right guard warmly. Right guard. Just watch him here as he works to the second level. You're going to see that left arm get outside and hook the linebacker, Andrew Simpson. And the referee threw it immediately. This Penn State offensive line been doing a great job at the point. In fact, you see the left arm around the back of the linebacker, Simpson. Referee standing right there. Simpson pleading to him to throw the flag. But man, Kaytron Allen, don't do these defenders like that. That's a big-time run. Big-time run.
It's an SEC officiating crew, the same crew that worked the SEC championship game. Aller to the sideline. Luke Reynolds bullies his way for a first down.
You see the competitiveness of this tight end group overall, Bob. Tyler Warren, his exploits are well known. Luke Reynolds running the football with authority after the catch. Khalil Dinkins, the other tight end, redshirt junior, who they play in these 12 personnel packages with Warren, one of the better blockers at the point of attack as well. They are loaded at the tight end position.
Breaking tackles and spinning. Close to another first down is Singleton. That's his first carry in 5 possessions. There's another flag down, though.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense number 77. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So that's another penalty on Sal Wormley.
You see big Sal Wormley right there. You see his left hand gets up underneath the back of the helmet, right behind the ear hole. But this offensive line coming off the ball with physicality. Just got to be secure with their hands and their hand placement. But right now, this drive, they're owning the line of scrimmage.
Plenty of time on the play clock for Allen. Now it's 1st and 20. Out of the shotgun, here comes a Boise blitz. He's going to take a shot. Nearly intercepted by Benefield. Boise State sideline, hoping for offensive pass interference. They wanted a flag on Amari Evans.
I don't see where's the penalty flag?
And there is none. That's Boise's complaint.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, Benefield clearly gets pushed in the back by Amari Evans. Otherwise, he picks this ball off. He's got it locked in. He's got his laser on it. He's going to pick this ball off in the deep part of the field. That should have been pass interference.
Another blitz. Aller sets up Tyler Warren. And he makes it 3rd down and manageable. And this may take us down to the 2-minute timeout. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. So no reason for Penn State to snap the ball again before the 2-minute timeout. They will let the clock wind all the way down.
It's a 2-minute timeout.
And we will step aside. Great start to the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. We're coming right back. Coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Joey Galloway are standing by. They'll have first half highlights. They'll take a look at all three of tomorrow's college football playoff quarterfinal matchups, as well as we take a look from the AT&T Connected Camp here at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Big third down here for Penn State after the 2-minute timeout. Singleton stretched out, drop for a loss. Hassani shakes off the earlier injury and gets back out there to make an impact play. And now Khalil Dinkins is slow to get up for Penn State.
Look at the awareness of Ahmed Hassani. His watch has Tyler Warren's coming down the crack on him and try and pin him and seal this edge. They got a pin and pull situation. He crosses the face. He crosses the face of the block perfectly. Just look at this. Gets his hands down, and now he's off to the races and gets a TFL. That is textbook defensive end play.
154, 154.
And Boise State spends their first time out to save some time for their offense, as we are here at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Bob Wischusen with Lewis Riddick, Chris Budden, and Tom Luganbill are with us as well. This game looked like it might completely get away in the first quarter from Boise State. Now they've got a chance before halftime to tie.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State shot themselves in the foot, started turning the football over. Boise State got a couple stops and found their rhythm a little bit, running the football and making some plays. Now we've got a game here. Now they're going to get the ball back here after the 2-minute timeout. And we'll see if they can cash this in now and get some points here before the half.
Riley Thompson, good spiraling kick. Cooper Jones lets it bounce. What a punt as it finds its way inside the front pylon for a touchback. Oh, that is about a foot away from burying Boise State inside their own 1-yard line.
That is a heck of a punt.
Now this, as you said, is still a football game. Very much so. A one-score game with 1:45 to go in the opening half. But at some point, if the run game doesn't show up for Ashton Jeanty, is there really a formula for Boise State to pull off this upset?
Well, I mean, there's always a chance, right? Because right now here they are in a one-score game, but they need him to get going. And but again, be patient with this young man. He will rip you if you're not sure, if you're not secure in your gaps.
Well, they secure him here. And it does take a few arms to bring him down, though, as he is, what, squats well over 500 pounds. It's very difficult for the first guy to arrive and get him on the ground.
No doubt. When you look at him in person, he is just rocked up from head to toe. But you can see Penn State, look, Tom Allen says, look, I know what I got to do here. 8-man boxes, you're going to get them all day.
Flag thrown. False start. So this will probably cost Boise State 10 extra seconds as well, with 1:18 to go in the half.
False start. Offense number 17. It's a 5-yard penalty. Second down. Penalty carries a 10-second runoff, which has been declined.
So they offer James Franklin the 10-second runoff. He wants some time for his offense. If they can get a stop, he wants the maximum time on the clock because Penn State has all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, he likes his chances right now. You've got this offense behind the sticks. Your defense is playing solid football.
Madsen extending the play. Tucks it under. Scoots up the sideline. And gets about half of what Boise State needed.
It's like Boise State may have gotten away with the holding. The right tackle, Hall Schmidt, just had denied Dennis Washington locked up as he hit him with the inside pass rush. You can see he is just beside himself that he didn't get the call.
Third down and 8.
Again, we still haven't heard from Latrell Caples, number 3. He's in the slot at the top of the screen. He's been running good routes. He's been getting some separation.
Slant left, Lauder reaches to try to get the football to the line to gain and comes up a yard short. So now James Franklin will use one of his timeouts with 1:05 to go in the half.
Timeout, Penn State, their first of the half. 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 7 seconds, 1:07.
The College Football Playoff Foundation and ESPN continue to support teachers and coaches during the college football postseason. The Touchdown for Teachers initiative will invest over $300,000 in resources for teachers and coaches, donating $1,000 for every touchdown score to fund teachers and coaches focused on sports and fitness. Visit touchdownforteachers.org for more information. Abdul Carter still getting work done over on the sideline. As you heard Tom Luginbill talk about the fact earlier he left the game favoring that left arm, and it looks like they're trying to harness it up, Lewis, as best they can.
It's been a physical ball game out here. Good thing for Penn State. They've had some depth at the defensive end positions. They've been rolling 3-4 guys in here so far today.
Here's a decision. 4th down and 1, and Boise State comes out to go for it. Will they snap the ball? Is this a hard count? Or will they actually try and run a play at their own 29-yard line on 4th down? Penn State holding their water. Discipline from Penn State. And a timeout called by Boise State.
Timeout. Boise State, their second of the half. 30-second timeout.
So Penn State about to get the football back, it appears, before halftime with a 14-7 lead. Lewis, they got off to a terrific start. Their first drive, a 9-play scoring drive, might have been their best so far.
It sure was, and they had one-on-one coverage. Tyler Warren, they hit him in the back of the end zone, and then they just take the deep shot and just hit the speedster, the big playmaker, Amari Evans. And then here comes Boise, running the football with authority, short passing game. Tyler Crow caps it off. And now we've got a 1-score game here. Boise can try and flip this field, get this ball out of here with a punt in this 4th and short situation. And if you're Penn State and you're James Franklin, you're thinking, man, we had some opportunities to go ahead and stretch this lead to 2 scores, maybe even 3, before Boise got on the board. These drives right before half and then the drives coming out of the half, everyone knows who watches football that these are critical moments in the game. Teams practice these situations relentlessly.
And Penn State starts the second half with the ball.
There you go.
So they have a chance to really put a stranglehold on this game. With points before halftime, they could put together back-to-back scoring drives before Boise State ever sees the ball again. And now Boise State, a mess, as they had one of their players heading upfield and the ball was never snapped. So this will cost them 5 yards.
Before the snap, false start, 23 offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Shea Oladipo,
it looks like
he's trying to time it up, and the ball just wasn't snapped. He tried to take off.
He sure did.
And now James Ferguson Reynolds sets up at his own 9-yard line. End over end kick. Tracy, late fair catch signal at the Penn State 36. Again, this is just game 1 of 4 in the college football playoff quarterfinals. The winner of Penn State Boise State here at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl advances to take on the winner of Notre Dame Georgia in the Capital One Orange Bowl, and of course Texas Arizona State kicks it off in the Peach Bowl tomorrow in Atlanta at 1 Eastern, followed by Ohio State Oregon. Wide open, Tyler Warren. Bit of a blown coverage there, you have to think, for Boise State. He's got 11 as Devon Banks bumped him out.
Really just a little bit of a pick route type of situation where the safety coming down to play man-to-man, Zion Washington, he just got picked off. He's got to allow some room so he can get over the top of that route and get down on Tyler Warren. It's a good play call for Penn State.
56 seconds and still 2 timeouts for the Nittany Lions. 4-man rush. Aller, clean pocket, sideline, reaching up to make the catch. Amari Evans.
That's just a heck of a play by Amari Evans. I don't know what the corner Devon Banks was doing. He broke on the ball. I thought it was going to be an interception. I don't know if he couldn't find the ball, couldn't track it. Amari Evans just climbs the ladder and makes a spectacular catch.
Drew Aller, terrific first half, 144 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Under pressure here. He will go down. 2-yard sack. 44 seconds to go in the half. Michael Callahan made the stop, so Penn State forced to take timeout number 2 here.
And you can just see there's going to be extra rushers that are coming. Just trying to heat up Drew Aller. See if they can bring more than they can block. And you see coming off the edge, Shea Oladipo makes Drew retreat up into the pocket. Can't find anybody open down the field. As you see Michael Callahan, this defensive front playing much better here in this second quarter.
Even from right here, according to James Franklin, they feel like they're in field goal range. Ryan Barker, he's only a redshirt freshman. His long on the year, 49 yards, but according to Coach Franklin, end of half, they would let him kick it from the high 50s, even the low 60s, if there was a chance to end the half or the game with a kick. Certainly want to at least get him closer, if not find the end zone. Aller, he's going to take a shot again for Evans. Lost it just as he came to the ground. Devon Banks hung in there in coverage that time. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
Amari Evans, they're just sending him deep again and again and again with that speed. And you see it's just a foot race, and he's going to win that every time. And you can see the corner, Devon Banks struggling to keep up, trying to maintain contact with him. You see he grabs him with his left hand. A lot of hand fighting down there at the catch point, and he can't reel it in.
A look from the AT&T connected cam there. Big play here. 3rd down and 12. Flags down. Unless a timeout was called, it was by Boise State from the sideline.
Timeout, Boise. Their 3rd and final of the half, 30-second timeout.
You can see offensive coordinator Andy Koltanecki of Penn State. He knows that this Boise State secondary has had problems in the back end with preventing explosives, big shots down the field. And right now he is sending his speedster Amari Evans down the field looking for these big shots over and over again. As you see Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator for Boise State, probably discussing like what's going to be the plan when they come out here in the second half. But right now in the immediacy, this Boise State defense, they have got to get it together in the back end, because Drew Aller is saying, hey, look, we're taking shots on you.
Is this a shot call, or is this a set up the field goal play call here for Penn State?
If I'm them, if I feel like I can protect it, I'm trying to get it to my playmakers. These one-on-one. You got Tyler Warren down here at the bottom of the screen, one-on-one.
Aller looks that way. He was hit, though, sawed in half as he let that ball go. Shea Oladipo comes on a nickel blitz, and that completely threw off the timing of Aller and Tyler Warren.
You just see they are again just trying to get some pressure, sending 5 and 6 rushers, and there you see Tyler Warren just battling with Ty Benefield on the outside.
And I guess they do feel as if this might be just out of Ryan Barker's range. They are not going to try a 55, 56-yard field goal. They're going to go for it on 4th and 12. Boise State shows blitz again. Here they come again. Aller, one-on-one out on the edge, flag out. Trey Wallace grabbed by Devon Banks. On 4th down and 12.
Right now, Devon Banks is struggling. They have been going after him, and they have been trying to work him at the line of scrimmage with their releases, and they are pressing him down the field and making him struggle.
Defense number 20. Automatic first down.
You see it here at the line of scrimmage. He's back on his heels, can't open and run, loses his balance, and now he's in panic mode. He doesn't know what the receiver is going to do. He just has to grab and hold and hang on for dear life, and they're just shuttling receivers over there on him. That time it's Trey Wallace. Before it's Amari Evans. They have found the guy that they want to get after. Now he's out of the ball game. Jeremiah Irby back in the game, number 6.
One timeout left for Penn State. 4-man rush this time. Aller, he's going to float one to the end zone for Wallace. Broke it up in the back of the end zone. That time it was Jeremiah Irby in coverage.
He had just come in for Devon Banks. And they said, Trey Wallace, get another shot at it. Nice release off the line of scrimmage. He's already stacking him. He's got separation. It's a nice ball by Aller. He just drops it. It's right there. That's a perfect throw. Andy Kotelnicki, his offensive coordinator, has said, look, we've run the ball with authority, but we're going to keep throwing this thing. We think we found something on the outside.
Aller up the seam, through the hands of Warren. Andrew Simpson, inside linebacker, doing the best he can to run with the All-American tight end.
Yeah, just got to turn and wall him off and run with him up the seam. You're going to see him right here. You see Tyler Warren. He's one-on-one with Andrew Simpson. That's what he has to do. Just play his eyes, play his hands, try and rip at the pocket, make sure he can't secure the catch. But boy, they are under the gun right now, and Penn State just trying to push this ball down the field and go up 2 scores before half.
Penn State still with that timeout. They've got the whole field available. And Aller tried a quarterback run. That looked like straight quarterback run, almost a draw. And he barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Andrew Simpson was there to make the stop. So looks like James Franklin will let the clock wind all the way down, call his timeout, and now they'll try.
Timeout, Penn State.
For a Ryan Barker field goal.
First half, 30-second timeout.
You're going to see Simpson come from here. You're going to see a blitzer come off the edge. And just trying to put maximum pressure on this O-line and Drew Aller. This is what Boise does. This is how they are one of the best pass rush teams in college football. Second in sacks in the FBS with 51 this past season. They play high-risk, high-reward defense. They are going to try and get to the passer before you can find those throwing lanes and find the open receivers downfield. It's a great back-and-forth matchup.
Well, Boise State defense came into tonight having allowed only 5 touchdowns in their last 14 quarters. They allowed 2 touchdowns to start the game. But they've stabilized things a bit.
They sure
Although
have.
Penn State's really managed the game well. And they are a 40-yard field goal away from Ryan Barker from taking a 10-point lead to the locker room and starting the second half with the ball. Certainly has the distance, and he's got it. So Ryan Barker ends the first half with 3, and Penn State back to a 2-score lead here in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
That's the end of the second quarter.
And Coach Spencer Danielson not at all happy. And I think he believed that someone moved up front for Penn State. He was calling, I think, for a false start on the field goal attempt. Does not get the flag. Penn State gets the 3. And let's head down to Chris.
Spencer, was Penn State committed to loading the box and stopping Ashton Jeanty? How do you produce more offense in the second half?
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. We're battling, and our team's resilient, man. We get down, we get a turnover, we find a way to keep swimming back. and they're doing a good job stopping the run right now. And we got to have compliments off of that. Our receivers got to create space and win one-on-ones. We got to protect.
Thank you, Coach. Tom?
Well, Coach, had some self-inflicted wounds there in the second quarter, but you get the ball coming out of the locker room. How do you regain the momentum here?
Yeah, we just got to clean up the penalties. We're making it too difficult on ourselves, with the negative yardage plays, putting us in long yardage situations. So we just got to get that cleaned up. Once you do that, we'll be fine.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So James Franklin's team with a 10-point lead at halftime. Coming up after the break, it will be time for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. Desmond Howard, Joey Galloway will be standing by with Reese Davis in just a moment.
Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz halftime report.
Penn State with a 17-7 lead on Boise State. Reese Davis, Joey Galloway, and Desmond Howard here inside the Rose Bowl Stadium tomorrow, Ohio State and Oregon. Right now we're watching the Nittany Lions and the Broncos. Desmond, started this first half, it looked as if Penn State was going to come out, flex its muscle, and totally control this game.
It really did. They flexed their muscle up front. The line of scrimmage, they dominated the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, defensively, we knew they were going to stack the box, put 8 in the box so they could control Ashton Jeanty and make sure he didn't get going, and they did a fantastic job with that. But their stretch play to the right, Kaytron Allen with a big run, and then they run the same play to the left again with Kaytron. He averaged 7.6 yards per carry in the first half. They controlled the line of scrimmage for the better part of a quarter and a half, and then Boise started to come alive a little bit, and they turned this into a game, Joey.
Yeah, Penn State had 144 yards in that first quarter and 2 touchdowns, and it felt like this game was over.
Right.
When we watch the hitting, and we always talk about Jeanty running people over.
Yeah.
Well, there's more people coming, and he is getting hit. He's put 2 balls on the ground, losing one of them. He only fumbled twice all season long as Kobe King comes up, forces this fumble, and Wheatley recovers it. And so at this point, it looks like it's going to be Penn State's game, and then they put one on the ground. For Boise State, after this turnover, they go down, they get the touchdown. Yeah. They can't like the way that first half ended. They give up the field goal. Now they're down 10. Penn State gets the ball back. This drive coming out of the halftime is going to be huge for Boise State to stay in it.
Yeah, you look at this right now, and it looked as if after that fumble, Boise State settled down, exhaled, and they really started delivering some hits, got back in the game. But now Penn State will start the ball with the ball in the second half and trying to extend this lead. And as Joey mentioned, Boise really needs to come up on defense here. So halftime in the desert, and Tyler Warren, they go at him in any way they can, and the big tight end just keeping that 1 foot in bounds. 17-7, Nits up by 10 at the break.
This halftime report is presented by Mercedes-Benz.
The college football playoff bracket, as always, is brought to you by AT&T. This is the way it looked out. The winner of our game advances to the Capital One Orange Bowl to take on the winner of the Notre Dame-Georgia game. This is the first of 4 semifinals, 3 of them coming tomorrow. And, of course, noted Georgia Bulldog fan Ryan Seacrest has a little celebration going in New York City. Ryan?
Football playoff quarterfinals continue.
It's building. You can just feel the energy.
Everything is going to be magnified. The college football playoff quarterfinals, New Year's Day on ESPN.
You're watching the Mercedes-Benz halftime report.
Okay, Boise State settled down. They're down by 10. Big series coming. What type of adjustments need to be made in the second half?
Aller's been sacked 2 times. But Boise State sending that blitz, they've hit him a bunch. If I'm Boise State, I keep sending, especially in this first drive, they have to get a stop.
I agree with you. And you said earlier that if a defense can get pressure on a quarterback, it helps the back end. I think the back end needs to play a little clean. Couple of holding, grabbing penalties. If they can eliminate those penalties on the back end, I think they'll be okay defensively.
Yeah, and Jeanty, 43 yards rushing in the first half. They have to figure out a way to get him loose. Penn State, much better job running the football in games like this. If you can run the ball better, you're going to have a chance to win. Boise State has to figure it out.
Number 13. He averaged 7.6 yards per carry in the first half.
Yeah, they were rolling in the early going. You had a moment there when Penn State was averaging over 11 yards per carry. But Boise State settled into the game, started hitting them defensively, and they've got a chance right here now. Both teams undefeated in the Fiesta Bowl all time. Now, what would you do coming out here to attack if you're Penn State right off the bat?
I think keep going down the field. They've proven they can hit shots down the field. Tyler Warren dropped a big one down at the end of the first half, but I would keep taking those shots.
Yeah, like I said, I think Allen, get the ball to Allen. Make sure you can open up the passing game because K-Tron Allen, he was on fire in that first half.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple of balls late in that first half that gave Penn State a chance for another touchdown. Settled for the field goal, 10-point lead, about to go to the third quarter. And now time for our Road to the Championship presented by Mercedes-Benz. And it is the 6th-year senior, the former linebacker turned running back, Tyler Crow, the pride of Nampa, Idaho, plowing his way in for Boise State. The only touchdown of the first half for the Broncos. 10-point lead from the Nittany Lions. Trip to the Orange Bowl on the line in the second half.
This halftime report is presented by Mercedes-Benz.
There's never been a path to a national championship like this. And in the end, one team will have done something no team has ever done. The College Football Playoff National Championship. Monday, January 20th, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN.
My goodness! Touchdown! You gotta be kidding me!
This is something really special.
The College Football Playoff Quarterfinals continue tomorrow.
It's about who has the most heart! Hey, what win? You got no limits!
Welcome back to the College Football Playoff Quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Just about set for the start of the third quarter. It's a 10-point lead for Penn State. The winner between Penn State and Boise State advances to the Capital One Orange Bowl to take on the winner of Notre Dame, Georgia. That will cap the triple header tomorrow night on ESPN. We'll start things off with Texas, Arizona State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Then, of course, Ohio State, Oregon in Pasadena. And then New Orleans, our last stop. This just the start of the College Football Playoff Quarterfinal round. Bob Wischusen here with Lewis Riddick. Tom Luganville and Chris Button are with us as well. This game was all Penn State early. Boise State stabilized things a bit. Penn State still has a 10-point lead. What do you expect in the second half?
Look, I think offensive coordinator Andy Colton-Necky will get back to the running game. They have less than 100 yards rushing, as you said before we came on, for this second half. We thought they were going to run for 200 the way the early part of the game really broke for them. I think they got to start pounding the football again, though. Take some of the time off of this clock and really just impose their will on Boise. They've been throwing the football with some effectiveness. Drew Aller has shown that, look, he has got a lot of tools to work with, and they could have really put one of those in the end zone there right before the end of the first half. But I think here, again, their bread and butter and their DNA is running the football, and they have run it with physicality. I think they'll try and establish that again here early.
Now, hard to believe 77 rushing yards. You would have thought it would have been 177 based on that first drive. So you certainly give Boise State some credit for bouncing back defensively. But is there any way that Boise State can pull this game out unless Ashton Jeanty becomes Ashton Jeanty in the second half?
Yeah, it'll be a very, very difficult road for them to travel. Explosives change the game. They need an explosive play. He has all those runs of 50-plus on his resume already. He's got to produce one of them now.
Let's go down to Luke's.
Well, Lewis, you hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly what Penn State needs to do. Reestablish the line of scrimmage. Coach Franklin knows that when you get behind the chains because you're heavily penalized, those self-inflicted wounds will eventually catch up with you. If they can maintain positive momentum on the ground, then it's going to lessen that Boise State pass rush, which they have not handled well in the first half.
Well, a chance to put together back-to-back scores. A field goal before halftime. Aller off play action. Off the fingertips of Tyler Warren. Oladipo step-for-step in coverage.
And they come out and they throw the football the first play of the second half.
Which is not what you wanted to see if you were a Penn State fan.
Well, I think now, again, the pass rush is starting to dial it up right here. This is a good job by Shea Oladipo trying to get around the big 6'6" Tyler Warren. And this pass rush, as Luke's just mentioned and that we've been talking about, has been really heating up here, especially in these second and third and long situations. They've been bringing 5 and 6 rushers, and here they come again.
4 yards for Singleton. Oladipo another tackle, so 3rd down and 6. Again, Aller has missed on 5 in a row. He began the game 10 for his first 13, and now it's 3rd down and 6.
So now this is where you expect Boise to send extra rushers. They've been living in the fast lane, playing a lot of man-to-man coverage in the back end, and they've been surviving barely so far. Penn State has hit them on a couple big explosives.
Straight back is Aller. High throw, bobbled it in and out of the hands of Tyler Warren. It'll be a 3 and out for the Nittany Lions. Warren was there, Tugner in coverage, but Aller couldn't put it on him.
I don't know how you leave the most dangerous tight end in college football all alone, but he literally is running down the seam with no one within 8 yards of him. Nobody. Aller's just got to put that on him, and they convert, and they got a new set of downs. Boise State dodged, obviously, a miscommunication in the secondary. You can't turn that guy loose, but now they get their crack at it.
Cooper Jones, fair catch. Fielded at the 16-yard line. Good punt from Riley Thompson of 54 yards. Down to Chris.
No one has to be Superman. That was the message that Spencer Danielson gave his team during halftime. He said, there's just been too many mistakes. Make the plays that we're used to making. One of those, obviously, Ashton Jeanty with the 2 fumbles. He was one of the first guys to walk out of the locker room, surrounded by a group of defensive linemen. They were patting him on the back, screaming at him, trying to get him that energy going.
Do they throw on early downs, Lewis, or go right back to trying to establish Jeanty?
I think you're going to mix it up a little bit, but he's got to get going. He's got to produce an explosive if they're going to get a chance.
Now they're going to be behind the sticks before they even snap the ball.
False start. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty. First down.
He was the most dominant running back in football in all of FBS during the season, but he has been held down tonight so far by Penn State, averaging over 192 yards per game, but did not face a top 20 rushing defense through the regular season or in the championship game in the Mountain West. A little fake, and Madsen on the keeper. Only picks up about 3 yards. Amin Vanover made the stop. And that Penn State defense still without Abdul Carter. A little tempo here for Boise State. Quick snap for Madsen. Out of the pocket. Across the middle, and he's got a hookup with Cameron Camper for a first down.
They're going to throw the football. Cameron Camper has to become a factor, just like Latrell Caples, I talked about in the first half. Cameron Camper, the transfer from Indiana, has overcome so much, so many devastating injuries to become their big play threat down the field. When the ball gets put in the air, he has to have an impact on this game.
Jeanty walloped and finally driven back after 3 yards. Devon Thomas hit him first.
That is a heck of a job by Devon Thomas. You thought Jeanty was about to get onto the second level. I think he saw it too. And Devon Thomas just sticks out that left arm and stops him in his tracks. It's a matter of inches every single time with Ashton Jeanty, and Penn State's defense knows that. They know they got to be perfect, otherwise he's out the gate. And man, have they played a good, solid football game against him so far.
Another false start. Left side of the offensive line seemed to flinch again.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
There you see Abdul Carter with the towel over his head. Not out there with his guys right now. Penn State having to rely on the depth that they have at defensive end with Vanover and Sutton and Smith-Vilbert.
Madsen looks back to the sideline. Perfectly timed. Latrell Caples You've been calling for him to show up, Lewis. Now he does. Second and long, he picks up 17.
Nice post corner route. Looks like he's going to go to the post. You see he's going to drive to the post and then just break it out on the out. Nice route. Maddox working front side, coming backside, just puts the ball on time, in rhythm. If they're going to throw this football and take some shots down the field, those guys have to step up.
Play action. Hatson rolling out. Wide open down the sideline, a blown coverage, and Matt Lauder takes it the distance. Touchdown.
You're going to see Lauder right here. The Madsen reverse pivots. They just lose track of him. Whoever had him man-to-man, it's the play fake that gets them out of sorts, and they just totally drop him. The tight end throwback off the quarterback rollout. He reverse pivots. Looks like he's going to go and throw the ball out to his right and throws it back to his left. Eye control, eye discipline. Penn State didn't have it. It cost them big.
Maddox Madsen, 99 yards passing in the first half. He had 87 yards passing on that drive. Catch and run touchdown for Matt Lauder. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Winning's easier when you're road game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. The road to Glendale for both of these teams. And the college football playoff quarterfinals. And boy, do we have a game again. Boise State gets a stop. And then the touchdown catch and run, Matt Lauder. And it'll be Penn State's ball at their own 25 as we have tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. It was lopsided early, Lewis.
Yeah, Tyler Warren just getting loose in the back of the end zone and against man coverage. Drew Aller puts the perfect throw on him. And then Tyler Crow, the big converted linebacker, just bulldozing his way into the end zone. And then how about this? What a great play call by Dirk Cutter. Fake the wide zone. Looked like you're going to run some kind of boot pass, and then you have the boot throwback to Matt Lauder. Wide open.
The diamond formation. Katron Allen. 9 yards on first down. That's more the bread and butter for Penn State. Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, the only tandem in college football where both had over 890 yards rushing during the season. Aller's going to take a shot on second down. Incomplete. Amarion McCoy had the best chance at it for Boise State, a near interception, and now it's third down and 1.
I tell you, they just can't help themselves. They really feel like Amari Evans' speed, and it is special now. When you see it here live, he can fly. But if I'm Andy Koltanecki, heck, right now, if I'm James Franklin, I'm getting on the headset and I'm saying, Andy, run the rock. They have no answer right now for Katron Allen.
They're going to run it here. And getting outside is Katron Allen on third down and 1 with a stiff arm. Tries to tightrope the sideline. And the Benefield push at least got him off balance enough that he went out of bounds, or he was gone.
And there you see, he's just out the gate, and he's one-on-one against Ty Benefield, who does just enough to prevent this game.
That's so Katron Allen with a first down run for Penn State. Herbert Gums is down and injured for Boise State, so we'll step aside. That's going to be good. This fall, Glenn Powell is Chad Powers, the new face of Second Chances from executive producers Eli and Peyton Manning. Comes Chad Powers only on Hulu this fall. The myth of Chad Powers began at Penn State, if memory serves, right? A look from our AT&T connected cam. As Katron Allen. That third down run as Penn State set up in plus territory with a first down. Back to Singleton. And he picks up About one. Another tackle by Benefield.
See these safeties trying to come downhill and support this front. Build a wall.
Tempo for Penn State. Bouncing outside is Singleton. He's got a first down. He was able to slip through the fingertips of Oladipo, maintain his balance, and get to the 33-yard line.
It's his second effort on the blocks by Khalil Dinkins, the tight end, number 16. Sal Wormley, 77.
And a look from our AT&T connected cam.
Singleton just showing good patience, good vision, letting his blocks work, letting these offensive linemen and these tight ends get combinations, get up on the second level, doing a nice job.
Blitz coming. Aller. Pocket collapses and down he goes. The blitz gets home again. No Triani. Tubner meet at the quarterback.
You're going to see it here. They're both just going to hit up inside. Just send in 6. And just trying to get free rushers attacking Penn State's protections. Drew Aller just trying to survive in the pocket. Can't keep his eyes down the field. This is where Boise State wants to keep you. Now they just unleash the variety of man blitzes, zone blitzes. You just never know where it's going to come from.
Blitzing again. Aller quickly out on the edge to Warren. And he's thrown down. They'll make it 3rd down and long. Zion Washington with a very sure tackle of a guy who's hard to tackle.
See, that time they send 6 again. They try and overload. Try and run some games up front. Confuse the Penn State offensive line. Turn somebody loose coming right down the pipe. And see if they can get Drew Aller to either throw a bad ball or get him on the ground.
Play clock at 4. Aller under pressure again, steps up in the pocket, tucks it under and will run. Flag down. He dives. If the play stands, he's got a first down. A flag thrown far side in the secondary, and this will be holding against Boise State.
They're going to get a holding on Ty Benefield. He's been battling with Tyler Warren this entire game one-on-one, and that is a tall task going up against the Mackey Award winner.
Holding. Defense number 0. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So tack yardage onto the end of the 3rd down scramble by Drew Aller.
You're going to see him right here. Look, he's just trying to play tough man-to-man coverage, trying to jam him at the line of scrimmage and throw off the timing. And as the route starts to declare and Tyler's trying to make his break, you just can't tug on him, can't pull on him. Look, that's a tough assignment. You're going up against one of the best, or the very best in the nation at the tight end position. Will be a first-round player in the NFL, a first-round draft pick.
False start. Maybe noise induced again. Aller's complaining.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the 3rd penalty on Sal Wormley.
Yeah, you see Penn State was arguing that Boise State was trying to draw them off sides with those quick movements, those quick line shifts as they shifted the front at the last minute.
So 1st and 15. Allen dragged down inside the 15-yard line. Got 4 yards on that dive ahead. Let's go down to Luke's.
Yeah, guys, James Franklin really upset, not just by the line movement for Boise State, but he feels strongly that all game long they've been calling out the cadence at the line of scrimmage, drawing Penn State to jump off sides.
Well, disconcerting signals that can be called. See if at some point James Franklin with that complaint gets a flag. 2nd and 11 in the red zone. Play action. Aller Rolling out to extend the play. Running out of room. And he's going to heave this one out of bounds. Held off the sack and the rush of Jaden Virgin-Morgan. And it will be 3rd down and 11.
It's a really nice job of man-to-man coverage by the Boise State secondary. Drew just had nowhere to go with the football. Nowhere at all. And then Jaden Virgin-Morgan, their top pass rusher, top sacker on this football team this year, who has really blossomed this year, especially in the second half of the season. Now here again, Boise State going to have to play good red zone defense. Been one of the top teams in the country down here inside the 20.
Another blitz. Aller loads it in the back of the end zone. Jump ball for Tyler Warren. Touchdown. He's got a pair.
It's just so difficult playing this beast of a tight end. Just look at the extension. Taking the ball up high. Ty Benefield's like, what do I have to do against this guy? Trying to play the eyes and the hands, trying to punch the pocket. I mean, Ty Benefield is 6'2" and long, former standout basketball player in high school. But Tyler Warren at 6'6", 257 pounds. It's just almost uncoverable. It's just uncoverable, especially with that kind of throw.
First ever Mackey Award winner at Penn State. And this year for FBS tight ends, #1 in touchdowns, #2 in receiving yards, #3 in catches.
And just look at the combination route as he plays off of Luke Reynolds. And that just gives him the separation from Ty Benefield. He can't get over the top of that combination route, that rub route. I mean, that's just a smart adjustment on the part of Tyler Warren. He used Luke Reynolds to kind of rub Ty Benefield and get some separation and then just climb the ladder. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Those kind of ball skills. And how fun was he to talk to? Just as intense as heck. You just knew he was ready for this game. Started off this game blocking his rear end off, helping create some explosive runs. And that right there, it doesn't get any better than that right there.
Penn State able to answer. And they had their 10-point lead back. Tyler Warren, 2 touchdown receptions on the night.
And you're 6'6" and 257 pounds. I mean, there's nothing you can do against this. You just got to tip your cap and go, good catch, bud. I'll see you again soon.
Penn State has opened up their 10-point lead again. Abdul Carter still on the sideline for the Penn State defense. Just spoke with Tom Luganville, and no official word as to what his status is for the rest of the game, but he's certainly not showing any signs that he's going to be getting back in there anytime soon, as Boise State about to go back to the offense, down by 2 scores again, and it will be a touchback after the kickoff. So Lewis, back and forth we go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, it's been about the tight ends, right? Matt Lauder here on the rollout throwback, wide open, blown coverage, bad eyes on the part of Penn State's defense. And then it's about the unicorn just climbing the ladder. Been battling one-on-one all night long with safety Ty Benefield. They have just gone back and forth and back and forth. Tyler Warren showing you why he's one of the top prospects in the country and will be one of the top prospects in the draft this spring.
Toss to Genty. It's been that kind of night so far for Ashton Genty. Sure, tackling up front for the Penn State defense. Devon Thomas there again.
You just see how they're just setting the edge and not letting him get out the gate. And that time it's Dominic DeLuca. He's going to turn it in and say, everybody just come on, run to the ball. These defensive linemen have just been hunting Ashton down. Look at that, 42 rushes tonight, 42 yards. Just hasn't been able to get loose.
Swing pass. It's going to be 3rd down and about 6 after the catch by Cameron Camper. Ashton Genty, the first running back in FBS history to have 125 rushing yards or more in every game. 13 games this season. Penn State, though, only one 100-yard game allowed. It was Woody Marks, 111 yards, when they took on USC earlier this year. So things trending in the Penn State direction in that battle. Very much so right now. Boise State needs a third down answer. Blitz coming. One-on-one to the outside. Squeezing it into a very tight window was Madsen. And great concentration by Latrell Caples to pick up 8.
This is a heck of a throw by Maddox Madsen. He throws this ball before Caples comes out of that break. Caples turns around. That ball is on his inside number in a hurry.
Genty pulled down. At that time he picked up 5.5.
You can see Ashton still running that ball with authority. He's trying to find that crease, trying to find some way that he can get onto the third level and use his speed. But Penn State just playing with such speed. Everybody, 11 hats to the football. That's how you try and neutralize a guy of his caliber.
Genty had more yards rushing this season than 113 teams had. Held to 46 yards so far by Penn State. Adds to the throw again. Looks out window. He's got a hook up. And 4. Not a soft spot in the zone. It's another first down across the 50-yard line for Boise State. They have moved the ball through the air when Genty hasn't been there to make impact plays on the ground.
Offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter just dialing up his best stuff. He's seeing what this game, how this game is unfolding. He is trusting Maddox Madsen to make good decisions, his wide receivers to read the routes, read the coverages, find the zone holes. And they're moving this ball.
Genty. An ankle tackle after a gain of 3. And Chris, Maddox Madsen's been the story tonight on offense for Boise State.
He has, and entering the season, offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter said no one outside of this room other than me thought that he would be a good college quarterback. Only 2 Division I offers. He goes to Boise State, beat out 5-star Malachi Nelson, who transferred from USC after Maddox missed all his spring ball. If you're wondering where the name comes from, 6 siblings, all named after famous baseball players. Greg Maddox, Mad Dog, same nickname.
Well, he has had the accuracy of Greg Maddox in this game. Genty bouncing off tacklers. Penn State continues to rally when the first man can't bring Genty down. Tacklers 2, 3, and 4 are on the scene very quickly. It's 3rd down and 5.
You see, that time it was linebacker Tony Rojas who would come downhill trying to take on a block at the same time and put a hit on Genty. He bounces right off of it, but then there's 3 other Penn State defenders waiting. Now you got a key 3rd down again. They've been going to the tight ends. Lauder has been big on this down. Latrell Caples has started to show up in the slot.
Lauder in motion. Slam. Strong. First down. Just that extra spin move got the football inside the 36-yard line. A.J. Harris couldn't hold him up short of the sticks.
The role players, the supporting players on the perimeter for Boise, having to carry the load right now, having to make plays against this tough, stingy Penn State defense, and they've shown up. Strawn making catches. Cameron Camper starting to show up. Capel starting to show up. Lauder with the touchdown catch. Dirk Cutter having to draw up his best stuff, dial up his best stuff, and trust Maddox Madsen.
Well, he's earning that trust. 8 straight completions. Back to throw again. Blitz off the edge. Just quick release. And again turning upfield, Austin Bolt. Turn back after a gain of 6. Jalen Reed. A shoulder into the waist of Bolt. He was first there, and he got help. An efficient passing game continues to move the ball down the field for Boise State.
Maddox Madsen clearly seeing the coverage declarations post-snap very clearly. Knows exactly where he needs to go with the football, identifying the pressures, the receivers making their route adjustments accordingly. Just methodical, moving the football, moving the football.
Genty makes a man miss. Nice jump cut. He's got the first down. Devon Thomas tried to tackle Ashton Genty and got an armful of air near the line of scrimmage.
Just look at this jump cut. You called it, Bob. Look at this. Bink. I'm just to the side. That looks like the combine drill that they run in Indianapolis every year that they put running backs through. When they have a bag in front of the guy and they tilt it one way and he has to go the other. Opposite color. Ashton Jeanty shows it to you live in real time.
11th play of this drive. Jeanty again. Into the red zone before he's turned back, gain of 1.5 yards as we approach the end of the third quarter. Zane Durant stepped up to make that Penn State tackle.
It's a battle of wills right now. This Penn State defense been on the field a long time on this drive. Just grinding it out, Boise State's offense. Ashton Jeanty off the field. Now, if you're Penn State's defense, you got to focus in. Now you're in the red zone. Can't be any mistakes. And if you're Boise, the tight ends been playing a big role, attacking the middle of the field.
Madsen, another slant. Strawn again, breaks a tackle, flag down. Strawn, end zone, touchdown. Will it come back? Boise State celebrated. And a personal foul erases the touchdown.
I think they're going to get the right guard. You're going to see him right here. Watch the hands get up high on the pass protection. I think it was
like
Mason Randolph.
Might have been Hall Schmidt.
Oh, it's Hall Schmidt on the outside, okay? Yep. Excuse me. It was against Dennis Sutton. Oh, that's a critical error. Now you got 2nd and long. Now they can pin their ears back and get after the quarterback.
Jeanty back in the game. They throw a screen out to him, and he is dumped by Dominic DeLuca. And that's going to end the third quarter, it would appear, with Boise State way behind the chains. It's going to be 3rd down and 25 for Boise State to open up the fourth quarter.
At the end of the third quarter.
The Verbo Fiesta Bowl heads to the fourth quarter. Maddox Madsen's been a big story for Boise State. And Tyler Warren, just as big for Penn State.
Coach, as we enter the fourth quarter, you huddled your group around. What was your message to them?
Just 15 minutes to finish with this team, you know, and like I said, we trust each other. The love that this team has for each other is something I've never been around, and I give Jesus all the glory for it. We got to go execute and finish this game in all 3 phases. It's a 2-score game. We got the ball. We got to finish. We got to finish. Make the plays we should make.
Thank you.
Now, this is where Spencer Danielson will lean on the game management. You would think of Dirk Cutter on 3rd down and long. It's a lob. Intercepted. Zakee Wheatley. All the way back out with a flag thrown at the end of the run to where Boise State just had it.
Watch the break that Zakee Wheatley gets on this. He just reads Maddox Madsen's eyes, and he's gone even before he releases it.
Lewis really surprised on 3rd and 25 they would take a shot like that.
The result of the play is an interception by Penn State. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the intercepting team, number 33. It's a 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
3rd down and 25. Aren't you thinking more intermediate route and get into field goal range? Instead, Maddox Madsen forces one all the way down the sideline.
He never moves the safety. The safety is never fooled. You see him parked right there in the middle of the field. Even though he looks left for a brief instant, he's off the spot and he is flying. He knew what was coming. That's a huge interception for Penn State. That's a critical error for Maddox Madsen.
So Zakee Wheatley with a Penn State interception, but this was the penalty that cost Penn State 15 yards, and it's denied Dennis Sutton, lining up Ashton Jeanty with a blindside hit. as the play was ending.
Yeah, that's cheap. That's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. Have more respect for your competitors.
So with a 2-score lead, the Nittany Lions have it back. Drew Aller runs it himself up the middle. He can certainly be an effective runner at 240 pounds on his own. Herbert Gums and Oladipo there on the stop, but that's a 7.5-minute drive for Boise State, Lewis, that results in no points.
Yeah, it's just a bad decision on the part of Maddox. He's got to put that ball high and outside. You don't want to turn it over there because you want to have the attempt at the field goal. What a great play by Wheatley.
Blitz. Aller avoids a couple of tacklers in the backfield, just short of the first down. 3rd down and 1. Oladipo tripped him up.
And you can see Nicholas Singleton went the wrong way. Drew was expecting him at the mesh point to his right, and Singleton went left.
And Boise State bringing in their big bodies on the defensive line to try and get a stop on 3rd down and 1. Penn State loads up. Aller, a little bootleg fake. Sidearms one over the middle, incomplete. They try misdirection play action on 3rd down and short. And it looks like the punt group is coming out.
Still don't understand some of these calls sometimes, especially when you have the kind of firepower up front on the offensive line, and at the running back position, Drew Aller has to pull up and try and heave a desperation pass to Khalil Dinkins. I thought he was going to try and hit Tyler Warren out in the flat. He had him immediately. Just didn't see him or just didn't pull the trigger.
Riley Thompson, number 3 all-time for Penn State and punt average for his career, and forces another Cooper Jones fair catch after a 41-yard change of field position. You're watching the College Football Playoff quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Don't forget to check out the Verbo Skycast on ESPNU or the ESPN app for a no-host viewing experience. And now Boise State, after a 7.5-minute drive where they got greedy on 3rd down and 25 and turned it over, their defense gets a stop. And in a 2-score game, they've got the ball back. 90 seconds gone by here in the 4th quarter. Play action. They want to set the screen up. And Madsen just had to dump it into the flat. He couldn't find Lauder.
Penn State just sending extra rushers, just trying to get some pressure.
Now the officials are having a discussion. Are they thinking about intentional grounding here? He was certainly not out of the pocket. The question is, was Lauder in the area? No, now they're going to drop the flag.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 4. The penalty is also down at the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
Now Spencer Danielson is out on the field, and he is reading a riot act to the officials because he's claiming that Lauder was the intended receiver and was close enough. But that has the force and effect of a sack basically all the way back to the 13-yard line, an 11-yard loss.
In behind the sticks now once again. Now here comes the Penn State pass rush.
Lauder was really nowhere near the football. 4-man rush. Tipped ball, incomplete. That one went right through the hands of Lauder. So now it will be 3rd down and 21.
Intentional grounding is just killer. And then you get nothing in terms of trying to make this any kind of 3rd and manageable type of situation. Now you got 3rd and 21. You just got to try and pick up as many yards as you can. Hopefully punt, flip the field, don't have any kind of critical errors here.
On 3rd down and 25 a moment ago, they got greedy and turned it over.
Exactly.
What do you call here?
This would typically be a screen down, a draw down.
How about just give it to Ashton Jeanty? He finds a crease. There goes Jeanty. He's got the 1st down. I guess the other option would be give it to the best running back in America.
I told you, you just can't let your guard down, and you see that gap open up. That's the most running room he's had all night long. And we were talking about it. I said, this is just the point in the game where you kind of hit him late, deny Dennis Sutton, kind of cheap shots him on the interception. This is where you kind of wake him up. This is where, if you're Ashton Jeanty, you go, I have to make my impact on this game.
26-yard run on 3rd and 21. Madsen to throw. Down the sideline. Incomplete. Flags out. Cameron Bates, the intended receiver. Zion Tracy there in coverage.
Cameron Bates just runs a double move. He's going to run an out and up. Zion Tracy bit on the out.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
You're going to see Tracy right here. Watch when Bates goes to the out. He's trying to break underneath it, and he knows I'm cooked. I got to grab him right now, otherwise this could be a huge play. Live to fight another down.
So it's a 12-yard penalty that puts Boise State across the 50-yard line. Tyler Crow and Ashton Genty flanking Madsen. Genty for a yard. Just DeLuca tackle.
Just tough sledding inside there between the tackles. This defensive line is stunning and moving, trying to get penetration, trying to get Ashton to stop his feet behind the line of scrimmage and have to jump cut multiple times to find any kind of space. It's just so difficult for him to get going.
Straight back for Madsen. Good protection. A strike over the middle. Did Strawn hold on? He did. Davian Collins draped on Prince Strawn, and he holds on for 13.
That is just a heck of a throw. You see him here looking right. This resets, comes back to Strawn on the deep dig. It puts it right on him. A contested catch. Nice conversion.
Another try for Genty. Breaking tackles. That's more vintage Ashton Genty. That was a lot of contact near the line of scrimmage, and he ends up with 10 and a first down.
What did we talk about before the game? Body blows, the body blows. He breaks 2, 3, 4, 5 tackles on this. Just watch this leg drive. 1, 2, keep fighting. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 defenders have an attempt at hitting him.
Injury timeout, so we'll step aside.
The CFP quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by Verbo, private vacation rentals, AT&T, connecting changes everything, and Taco Bell.
Well, the hook and ladder and the Statue of Liberty 2-point conversion, a proposal, Gatorade dump. That overtime win for Boise State back in 2007 had everything in this Fiesta Bowl, 43-42. And now Jalen Reed was the injured Nittany Lion. He is off the field, 1st and 10. And what will the last 11 and a half minutes of this Verbo Fiesta Bowl produce between Boise State and Penn State? Another jump cut in the backfield to gain a yard for Ashton Genty, who's up to 96 yards rushing, which means he is now second all-time in NCAA history, in FBS history, in single-season rushing yards, as he is still trying to track down Barry Sanders. Now, of course, Barry Sanders did not get the benefit of the 222 yards that he had in the bowl game added to his total. Madsen back to throw. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off and run. Makes a man miss. Powers his way for a first down. Looking like Ashton Genty to the 11.
I see you, Maddox Madsen. But Dominic DeLuca, the linebacker, he thinks he has him lined up. And Maddox goes, no. We've seen him do this before. Saw doing it at the Mountain West Championship game against UNLV.
Madsen. Pressure coming from the backside. He doesn't feel it. Now he feels Amin Vanover and gets sacked back to the 21-yard line.
Amin Vanover taking over for Abdul Carter. You're going to see him right here against the do-it-all Cage Casey, the left tackle for Boise. He's able to get his hands off him, get his hips turned, and flatten down the line of scrimmage and just track him down. Amin Vanover has been a problem in this game. He has played inside and sub-rush rushing over the guards, going outside at defensive end. He has added impact on this game.
Casey hadn't allowed a sack all year before tonight. Madsen back to throw again. One-on-one out on the edge. Diving attempts by Latrell Caples. And now it'll be 3rd down and 20. Now again, last time they were in this position, Lewis, they got greedy.
See Caples is, he would have been a difficult catch, but that's a catch that Caples is capable of making. One-on-one against Zion Tracy out here working down inside the 5.
Is this
big down and distance? You're right.
Is this a game management play call here to make sure you secure 3 points?
No sacks, no turnovers. Don't be reckless with the football. We need to get points out of this. That's if you're Dirk Cutter, that's what you're telling Maddox Madsen.
He's back to throw. Fires a crosser, incomplete. Knocked down inside the 10-yard line. Good coverage by Elliott Washington. Just swatted away. So they don't buy any extra real estate for Jonah Damas and the field goal group.
Let's look at the close of Elliott Watson playing outside in on this crosser. And there you see him. He just tries to slingshot and slip that over route underneath. Hits it with his upfield arm. Textbook coverage.
He missed earlier from 45. This from 38 to make it a 1-score game again. No. Outside the right upright. Boise State comes away empty again. Second field goal miss for Dalmas.
That just takes the air right out of you. You move the football down the field. You feel like you're starting to establish some momentum, and you come up with nothing again.
Boise State's last 2 drives, 13 plays and 12 plays, and no points. Back to the offense for Penn State. And keep it on the ground. With Singleton, he only gets a yard. But again, on 3rd and 21, previously 3rd and 25. Maddox Madsen goes downfield with the football, and Lewis, they turn it over. And then Dalmas, they don't draw him any closer, and he misses from 38 yards out.
Yeah, you see they're just self-inflicted in terms of, you can question the play calls, you can question the decision-making, the missed field goals, the lack of execution. Penn State comes out of this game with the win. Boise's going to be questioning themselves for a long time, some of the decision-making.
Tron Allen breaks a tackle. He's got a 1st down. That's a big broken tackle as Benefield eventually got him down. It's a gain of 12. Let's go to Chris.
Yeah, Ahmad Hassanin, who came off 2 series ago, barely able to put any weight on his right ankle, has it heavily taped, but is really struggling out there to be able to stand up on both of his legs. Crucial piece to this pass rush in order to disrupt the timing of Drew Aller, guys.
They have him out of the game right now, and he is their best pass rusher, and he really is a 3-down player as well.
Yeah, I think what they need now, they're going to have to blow up against the run, because right now, if I'm Andy Koltanecki, I'm just saying, look, you're getting a heavy dose of this 2-headed monster.
Tron Allen. That's exactly what Penn State wants. They've got 7, and with 7:45 to go, you could have, in a 2-score game, Lewis, a very successful drive here for Penn State that doesn't even result in points. You just get the ball out to the 50, 45-yard line of Boise. Even if you stall there and punt, you might take 4 to 5 minutes off the clock in doing so.
And when your running back is averaging 8.7 yards per carry like Allen is for the night, you're feeling pretty good right now if you're Penn State. And with Boise being down one of its best defensive linemen who's stout against the run, as Chris mentioned, and as you've mentioned, it's an uphill climb.
Now it's a fake by Aller. And Tubner is in the backfield for the tackle for loss. That's a big one for Boise State. Well, that makes it 3rd down and 8 after 2nd down and 3.
You're going to see Tubner just come off the edge. Again, just trying to pressure the line of scrimmage as much as possible. Make Drew Aller have to make a quick decision about what he wants to do as far as his ball handling. Produce a TFL. Now they got him in a 3rd and long. This is You almost start to feel like this is ball game right here. You've got to get off the field if you're Boise.
6.5 minutes to go, and they need 2 scores. They show blitz. 5-man rush. Aller across the middle, right at the line to gain. On the crosser, it's Trey Wallace. And Aller stands in and delivers a pressure strike.
It's just such a good route by Trey Wallace. Ty Benefield has inside leverage on him. He has it at the snap by his alignment, and he just allows the receiver to cross his face and beat him on the dig. He was in position by the call, and by the way he was lined up to take away the route. Wallace still beat him inside, and Drew Aller puts it right on him.
Barring Boise State using their timeouts, Penn State is going to keep grinding this clock down. Slipping and falling is Allen, or rather Singleton, as he tried to cut back. Hassanin fighting the good fight. Was there to help bring him down.
Penn State, you're just taking your time, letting this clock go down. You know that Boise State needs 2 more possessions.
Well, if you just run it 2 more times, you could take the clock down inside of 4 minutes to go and punt. And Boise State could have the long field, even with their timeouts needing 2 scores with less than 4 minutes remaining. This drive began with 9:20 on the clock. Singleton breaks free! Nick Singleton, house call, touchdown!
Perfectly executed by the Penn State offensive line. Sal Wormley, Nolan Rucci on the pull. All Nick Singleton has to do is read his blocks, make a defender miss, and he's off to the races. Textbook.
This point after attempt to make it a 3-score game. Yes.
Just watch the drop by Drew Shelton as he gets a block and then gets up on the second level. He got double pulls on the backside. And then just watch Nicholas Singleton. He just has to read it. But it's really the block by Drew Shelton. He gets the down block and then he climbs second level and just rides the linebacker out of there. All Singleton has to do is make 1 cut and then just turn it loose. It's blocked perfectly. Perfectly at the point of attack. We talked about body blows and the way in which Boise State uses them with Ashton Jeanty and how it has an effect on the defense as the game wears on. Same holds true for Penn State.
Longest run of the season for Singleton. And that's the run for Penn State by Singleton that, you know, Boise State was waiting all night for, keeping their fingers crossed they would get and have not gotten from Jeanty. And give all the credit in the world to that Penn State defense. Their tackling tonight of Jeanty has been spectacular near the line of scrimmage.
11 hats to the ball every time, Bob. When somebody missed, there were 2 and 3 other guys there just running and hitting and rallying. You have to swarm a back like that, otherwise he will break one on you.
And now they've got Jeanty back, hoping for a return. And he's going to bring it out from a yard deep. Gets walloped at the 11-yard line. Colin Dinkins with the stop. 131 yards rushing for Patron Allen. And for him, that's 8 100-yard games on the season to equal the 800-yard games that Singleton has. A 58-yard dash to the end zone, his longest of the year.
And that's 212 for the night as a team. Boise State giving up 115.1 on the season per game. We said something's got to give in this game. I think we saw what gave.
And now a drop ball. Caples couldn't hold on. Flag down on the far side of the field as Madsen was hit.
Before the snap, false start number 17. Offense is never set. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, if it's a false start, then the whistle should have blown and the play never should have happened. So maybe it was a motion penalty. But it's 1st and 15 nonetheless for Boise, back to their own 6. Madsen from the end zone. Strong broken up. Good hands from A.J. Harris. Another flag thrown. In the end zone, denied. Dennis Sutton disagrees.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 33 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's his second personal foul. Remember, he took the shot at Genty earlier in the half.
Yeah, you're going to see Dennis Sutton off the top of your screen. Kind of hits him high up on the back.
That was one step.
It was.
And not much of a hit. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think it's the optics of the hits that made the refs throw the flag, but you're right. He didn't take any extra steps. It wasn't a 2 or 3 step type of situation. I think it's just the way it looked. Probably influenced their decision.
False start.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's the right tackle, Matoyer. Now this defensive line has kind of gotten in the psyche of this Boise State offensive line. They know that they are a one-dimensional team now, and these guys are tuned up to rush the passer, trying to get a jump on the pass set.
Strong and complete. This time, flag out. A.J. Harris grabbed Prince Strawn, and it looks like he will draw a penalty for pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense number 4. The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
You see A.J. Harris just trying to mirror the route out of the break. You see the left arm grab the shoulder pad. Just trying to stay tight in coverage. These Penn State defensive backs have been very aggressive. They've tried to play it physical all game long.
Tunnel screen. Latrell Caples. The tunnel closes fast. Tony Rojas, no gain. Got him right at the line of scrimmage.
You just see how quickly everybody converges on the ball. Zakeed Wheatley, he broke immediately on it. He had the first tackle attempt, and we saw Rojas a week ago. We see what kind of speed he has at linebacker. He can close as good as anybody.
Tipped ball. And that's the only thing that may have presented the interception. It looked like Audavian Collins was waiting for that one, and one of his teammates tipped it on the way there.
It's Rojas again. See, he read the eyes of the quarterback perfectly. And this gets a good break, gets in the throwing lane. Speed of the Penn State linebackers.
3rd down and 10. Nowhere for Genty. Tackle for loss for Keziah Izzard. And now with 4 minutes to go, it's 4th down and 12.
So now the Penn State defensive front's just having fun. Now you know you've got them right where you want them. And guys kind of get a second wind. And they don't even have their best pass rusher on the field right now. Abdul Carter has been out with that shoulder injury or something that happened to his arm. But the depth has really taken up the slack.
Now you've got your other bookend pass rusher and denied Dennis Sutton. That's hurt. So with Abdul Carter already on the sideline, the trainer's taking a look That denied Dennis Sutton. A reminder, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Ready for every challenge the road game may bring. Goodyear, more driven. A partner, it's been a blast being with you and Chris Button all season, leading up to this college football playoff quarterfinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. And now you start to picture the scene you'll have at the Capital One Orange Bowl on January 9th at 7:30 Eastern here on ESPN, because you're either going to get a matchup, it looks like, between Penn State and Notre Dame, or Penn State and Georgia.
I mean,
that's a no-lose.
That's just classic right there.
Right?
That's classic.
That takes us back to your youth.
Oh, my goodness.
That's your whole life watching college football. Two of those two teams in a playoff game.
That's as good as it gets.
Madsen, seam shot, intercepted. Zion Tracy basically ran the route for Latrell Caples.
And this is just perfect two-man coverage. Trail man, two safeties over the top. You're playing underneath man coverage on the second level. Just watch Zion Tracy. Just watch it. He lets him release, and then he immediately gets into a trail position. Just lets him get past him. Little tug on the jersey, little tug on the arm, something that the refs aren't going to call. And then he just mirrors the route. Now he's just trying to watch the hip, gets his head around because he's got the wide receiver under control. Just how you want it.
So Katron Allen with 3.5 minutes to go. And a Boise State timeout.
Boise State, the first of the half. 30-second timeout.
So if you're Spencer Danielson at this point, you are hoping for a miracle, and you're certainly going to use your timeouts. But I think appropriate for us now to probably start looking ahead at what is going to be an amazing day of football beginning tomorrow in Atlanta. All right, the triple header of the college football playoff quarterfinals. Penn State's going to be waiting for either Notre Dame or Georgia.
I mean, those are just big-time matchups that are yet to come. And then tomorrow, I mean, you still have a bunch of blue bloods. I mean, it'll be fun to see how Arizona State responds to the absolute ferocity that Texas plays with on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they just absolutely get at it. And how about the rematch out there in the Rose Bowl, Ohio State and Oregon? That's going to be big time in just one of the greatest settings in college football. Just so much to be like excited about and looking forward to tomorrow.
Singleton, a couple of yards. Another timeout quickly called from the sideline by Spencer Danielson.
Timeout Boise State, their second of the half, 30-second timeout.
And when those two teams met for the first time this year, the speed of Oregon seemed different. But then watching Ohio State against Tennessee, it seemed like Ohio State's speed was different in that game. That's going to be a fast football game in Pasadena.
Yeah, Ohio State was definitely motivated.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Against Tennessee.
I would say so.
That is for sure. They really rallied around the locker room. And they're going to need that again. They're going to need to duplicate that kind of energy again.
Now, the first meeting between those two teams, 7 lead changes, 3 of those in the fourth quarter, and it went right down to the wire. Why would we expect it not to go down to the wire again?
Yeah, I mean, look, Ohio State, when they're hitting on all cylinders, they can run the football, they can throw it with anybody. I mean, Jeremiah Smith's just ridiculous as a wide receiver. The defensive front is ferocious.
Katron Allen to the 41-yard line of Boise State. There's the final Broncos timeout with 3:22 to go.
Timeout Boise State, their third and final of the second half. 30-second timeout.
When you're talking about Oregon, I mean, Dylan Gabriel is just a stud. Just perfect teammate. So smart, so resourceful. Can make every throw. Can pick up first downs with his legs. Can create. You just see there 62 starts. I mean, that's a lot of experience. It sure is. And when you talk to him, you're just blown away by his maturity and his command of his career, his life, what he wants out of his career, out of his life. and how much he just loves his teammates. He loves to play the game, and it's fun to watch him play. That's just a big-time matchup, just an absolute big-time matchup.
There are guys that start as rookies in the NFL that didn't at times have 20 college starts. Get over 60. Fourth down, Penn State's
use that against him.
No, Penn State's going to go for it. And just trying to end the game here on 4th down and 5 rather than punting from the plus 42-yard line. Now we're looking over. Play clock down to 1, down to 0, and maybe they won't go for it. Take the delay of game.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And that will probably put the punt group out there. And it will.
Penn State. When you're looking at the bracket, if you're a fan, if you're a player, you're going, man, boy, do we have a banger coming up here as far as the matchup is concerned. And yeah, like we've been saying, these matchups are exquisite.
They came after the punter and tried to block the kick of Riley Thompson, so there was no one back there to help out Cooper Jones. So he's forced into a fair catch inside his own 10-yard line. So one more crack at it for the Boise State offense. And again, Ashton Jeanty, he has had 125 yards rushing or more in every game this season. But we told you earlier, Woody Marks of USC is the only running back this year to crack 100 yards against this Penn State defense. And Jeanty needs 6 more yards to even do that.
Hat tip to this Penn State defense so far as bottling Ashton up. He's come close to breaking loose. They have just been swarming him just like that. 4 or 5 hats on the ball every single time.
And remember, one of the big narratives around Penn State is James Franklin in these types of games, 2-10 in an AP top 10 matchup. Both of these teams in the top 10 as Jeanty is brought down at about the 12-yard line. Well, he's going to have another opportunity in a quote-unquote big one in the Capital One Orange Bowl. But this was a pressure game for Penn State, and they came through.
They leaned on the things that got them here. Great defense, strong run game, the improvement of Drew Aller as a passer. They kind of really unleashed today. You saw on display the speed of Amari Evans and just how much of a difference maker he can be in the passing game. And this O-line and D-line, wow.
Ashton Jeanty did crack 100 yards 2 runs ago, as he is up to 101 yards rushing. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout.
So Penn State, in the not too distant future, will be hoisting that hardware at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. After the game, stay tuned for the Ram Trucks postgame on ESPN. The trophy presentation will name an offensive and a defensive MVP. We thought it might have been that guy, Abdul Carter, but he went out early in the 2nd quarter. And still, even without arguably their best player, Lewis, they have bottled up Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah, you see the depth along this defensive line and the speed at linebacker. And these safeties have been coming down and filling alleys. Everybody, all 11 guys have had a hand in this in stopping one of the great runners ever played college football.
3rd down and 8. Four-man rush. Flags down at the snap. Madsen reaching back to make a one-handed catch. It was Cameron Camper. That was a terrific catch if it stands.
It was. One hand back across the body.
Illegal formation. Offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Unfortunately for Cameron Camper, it gets erased.
Correction. 3rd down.
13 penalties tonight that have cost Boise State 90 yards.
They had their chances.
They definitely did.
They had some long, sustained drives where they're moving the football between the 20s. And then you can second guess some of the play calling, some of the decision making by Madsen. Just weren't able to cash in.
Wide open. And down the sideline goes Kemper. Creativity for Maddox Madsen as he drew attention when he left the pocket. And that attention left Cameron Camper all by himself. He picked up 45 yards. Down to the final minute and 7 seconds. Again, no timeouts for Boise State. Genty. They're just trying to get him to crack one and maybe score a touchdown in this game.
You can just see by Ashton's body language, he knows he is going up against the best competition he has faced all season long. He hasn't seen anything like this defense this year, and he's played against some good ones. No disrespect to people like UNLV, who they battled with this season.
We've seen Abdul Carter hurt, denied Dennis Sutton hurt. We got a couple of more front seven players now defensively for Penn State as Smith Vilbert is hurt. So as great as their tackling has been, tackling Ashton Genty all night, yeah, it's kind of a war of attrition.
It takes a toll. It takes a toll. These guys are just worn out. They've left it. They've left it all on the field. These guys are probably cramping. I mean, they're just exhausted.
Devon Thomas was slow to get up after that last play as well, but he's been one of Ashton Genty's arch adversaries tonight. He's been around Ashton Genty a lot, and again without Abdul Carter for probably 40 of the 60 minutes of this game just about, and yet their defense didn't slack off one bit even after he left.
Sure didn't. Amin Vanover, number 15, that's the guy who stood out for me. Yep. His versatility, his body type, I mean, he has just been wrecking havoc. But you're right, Devon Thomas, Zane Durant, Smith Vilbert, they've all played at their utmost.
Penn State, the first of the half, 30-second timeout.
James Franklin calls a timeout. Maybe just let the rest of those guys catch their breath for an extra 30 seconds. So again, Penn State will move on to the Capital One Orange Bowl, and they'll take on the winner of the All-State Sugar Bowl between Notre Dame and Georgia. Again, we'll kick off the triple-header tomorrow with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 1 Eastern, Texas, Arizona State. And then the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential in Pasadena. At 5 o'clock Eastern time, they'll kick it off between Ohio State and Oregon. And by the time we get to late tomorrow night, we will have set the college football playoff semifinals. Swing pass to Caples.
Give Boise State credit, Bob, right? These guys came in here and they battled Penn State toe-to-toe. They came back after Penn State looked like they might just run them out of the stadium. Put some drives together. We're efficient in the passing game. It's just those situations down in scoring territory where both play calling and execution just bit them. Turnovers bit them. Ashton Genty putting the ball on the ground twice in this game. That's just something you just don't see. You just don't see it. The secondary, again, continue to have some issues with the deep passing game. Eventually the body blows Penn State threw at it in the running game. It made them crack.
Back shoulder, Madsen down the sideline. Trying to find Cameron Camper. Good coverage by O'Davian Collins. But what we kept saying, could they lean almost exclusively on their passing game for the production? At some point, you knew Ashton Genty had to do Ashton Genty things for them to get over the top and have a chance to actually win. And Penn State never allowed that.
Yep. Something had to give.
And now Ashton Jeanty heads to the sideline. It gets a bit of a curtain call for the Boise State fans behind the bench. They recognize it, and they're giving him a standing ovation. Madsen lobs one. That's going to be intercepted. Tyrese Mills runs it out, slides, and it'll be victory formation for Penn State with 18 seconds to go.
You can see the defenders, the Penn State sideline, just telling them to get on the ground. Game's over. And this Penn State team has been locked in. They have upped their intensity and their ferocity with which they competed here tonight. They really did. Whether or not a factor, when you're talking about the frigid conditions of State College a week ago, they showed you what they're capable of. Controlling the line of scrimmage, rushing the passer, playing with speed and playmaking ability in the secondary. It's a heck of a team effort, a heck of a win for Penn State.
So after Penn State dominated SMU 38-10 in Happy Valley in the opening round of the college football playoff, they come out to the desert, and the final score not quite as indicative of how close this game was for a long time. Boise State hung in there, but Penn State and James Franklin's defense and their physicality, a huge story. And congratulations to the Nittany Lions, as they are the first team to advance to the college football playoff semifinals. They'll be playing in the Capital One Orange Bowl, and now they await their opponent. They'll be watching the All-State Sugar Bowl like we all will tomorrow night when Notre Dame meets Georgia. And we now welcome you to the Ram Trucks postgame. As the confetti flies